Live.
Hello and welcome to the 48th episode of the Destiny Community Podcast, brought to you by Blue Microphones and Headphones. This one is about aim assist.
No, it's about puppies.
It's about
Puppies.
It's about puppies.
It's about unlimited frames. The Church of Unlimited
And
Frames.
It's about controllers
Preach.
and the beta.
Hey, you know what? I don't see the point of the Church of Unlimited Frames. Human eye can't see past 30 FPS anyway.
Oh my God! Let me stop this conversation right now, Tefty.
Yes.
You have proselytized too often. They don't believe you any longer.
Believe now.
Let a recent convert to the Church of Unlimited Frames step up to the pulpit.
Welcome, my son.
Can I have this part of the Church of 60 frames? This is pretty nice.
It does.
60 frames is the intro of the church.
I really dislike the fact that Tefty had me play his computer because it is literally gorgeous. I'm jealous.
Yeah?
I'm surprised you let me touch it.
Well, I thought about it before, and then I was like, to convert someone to the Church of Unlimited Frames, this is worth it. I'll let Pope touch it. You know? I'll take the hit on this one and let him touch my gear.
He did throw it away and get a new one the next day.
Yeah, immediately Amazon next day shipping. Yeah.
Because I was
nice
all
to meet you. How you doing?
Hi. Hello.
Hi, Burn.
What's going on?
Burn.
Very much.
How are you doing with this beta? Did you get a chance to play?
I did actually. All 4 days, I believe it was available for. So yeah,
like
all
that.
4 days. Got to try out all characters as well.
And you're like you fancy yourself a PvP player, don't you?
I do indeed.
How'd you find the beta? How'd you find the beta? Did you play it on console as well?
I did play it on console, yeah.
So how did you find that comparison?
Well, there's quite a bit actually that was going on in the beta for console and for PC, but like specifically, like what do you mean, like characters, weapons?
Okay, let me phrase it this way. What do you normally play on? Like, what do you normally play first-person shooter games on?
Like as in for just Destiny? I mean, for just Destiny, I was what you would call like a hunter main, but
no, like platform.
Yeah. Platform. Oh, sorry,
console
PS4.
or PC?
PS4.
Okay.
Usually. So being a PC player, this was definitely new for me.
Okay.
Cool. Did you? So as far as your stream, I've spent a ton of time in there. It's always a fun environment for your someone that drops in. You started out. I remember, God, man, you started out just streaming off of your PlayStation 4, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. PS4 and the PlayStation 4 camera and a Turtle Beach headset would be my audio. So pretty high tech stuff.
I remember when you were.
We don't recognize those headsets here. Only these quality blue mics and headphones.
Yes, only these quality blue mics.
That is a freebie.
So I remember when you were making the switch over from PlayStation 4 to PC. That was a huge transition for you. You decided to go full-time streaming, and it's paid out. It's paid off for you. You're always up there in the directory. How's that journey been for you? Have you had a chance to reflect on it?
Definitely. I would definitely say I've so far really enjoyed everything that has been happening. So occasionally I will get maybe some stress here and there, but nothing that's it's mostly the fun that just covers everything. Just from meeting people, everybody that comes in that's brand new, and they're always either they're they're curious about the channel or what I do, or they're just there to just have a good time. And just meeting those kind of people, I think, just really does make it just as enjoyable, I would say. So, and then just from that, it just kind of just keeps going on and on and on. I could go on and on about just Twitch in general and everything about the channel, and I could do that for hours. So
you get your start, Burn. How did you what was the decision turning on that stream for the first time on the PlayStation 4? Had you been watching streams? Were you just curious about the service? What was that decision like?
I had seen actually some friends of mine, they were streaming, and then I first then discovered Twitch for the very first time. I'd not really know anything about it, but I'd been watching their streams, and it was around the House of Wolves DLC. So around then, I like, decided, all right, I kind of want to, do what they were doing. So I started up my first stream, and I don't know, I think I was just like the most awkward person ever, just sitting there being quiet, just playing my game. Nothing too interesting with that, but it just kind of grew. So
Nice.
I've noticed there's one thing that's prevalent in every single one of your streams. It's those certain Pokemans that you have littered across your stream, and emotes. What was the reason? Do you just like Pokemon? And you're like, I'm going to make Pokemon stream in Destiny?
I've really actually, like, since I was a kid, I've always really been like into Pokemon, like just like for every single game or every single movie that ever came out. I never really got into the trading card game, but I still even had cards though. It was just something that I've been a fan of, and being a gamer, and into other games, I thought, like the number one thing that like made me want to like base my channel kind of somewhat around that, but not completely, was just the whole me seeing what emotes were on Twitch. I had no idea what emotes were, and then when I saw some, I was like, wow, I want my own channel one day with my own emotes, and I decided to go with the whole Pokemon theme because I really enjoyed Pokemon, so I thought, why not?
So I will say your love for Pokemon is definitely true. Before the podcast, we asked what would an Irish Pokemon be, and you just immediately answered probably a Farfetch'd. So you know your shit. You know your shit with the Pokemon. What is your favorite Pokemon? Do you get what is that?
It's a Generation 3 Pokemon, so maybe not a lot of people will know it.
Yeah,
it's called Metagross, but
okay. That weird tank-looking thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Tefty, Briar, and Pope are just like glazed eyes.
My parents never bought me a handheld Nintendo console, even though I wanted one.
Goodness.
So I know the travesty.
It is
Seriously.
The injustice. Unbelievable.
Misspent youth.
Yeah. So I never got to experience the glory of Pokemon. So
Oh my gosh,
I know.
missing out.
Well, if they do it for the Switch, I'll play it on the Switch. I'll be all about that.
Didn't they announce a Switch title for Pokemon? Or
Did they
The
officially
newest
announce
Sun and Moon version, I believe. What was it?
oh boy.
You would think that I would actually keep up with this specific thing, but it's
the
been more
names of
about
it,
like
the names don't
Destiny 2
matter.
right now. No, they don't.
Oh boy. Wow. Hope that comes out well after Destiny 2.
Pretty excited about Switch Pokemon, guys.
Yeah. I've hated every
Can't wait.
Nintendo like handheld console except the original Game Boy and like Game Boy Color, because my hands are actually small then. I can use it.
See, I wanted those. Those were like enticing to me. My parents got me, my brother got the consoles, but never got a handheld one. And my friends had them. I was like, I want to play those Final Fantasy games and Pokemons. And then
Then you had to
parents
get
got
like
the Game Gear.
accessories to put on it.
yeah, instead,
Like when you're playing in the dark because it didn't have a light up screen.
yeah.
So you had-
Oh yeah,
So,
the
yeah.
I remember
purple light
I
thing.
remember
Yeah.
looking at magazines having those. And then instead, all I got was my brother beating me at Street Fighter and making me like really angry as a kid until one day I would destroy him at every video game. This is how it is.
And
now.
look at you now.
Look at me. Now he won't even challenge me. Now he's like, no, sorry. We're not playing today.
Well, we're really happy to have you, Burn. Been wanting
Glad
to
to
get
be
you
here.
on the podcast for some time now. There is a crap ton of stuff
Tons.
So much news to
going
talk
on.
about.
The
So much
Destiny,
stuff.
the Destiny 2 hype is real.
Yes.
But before we jump into it, there's something else that's going on that we're doing on the podcast tonight. Obviously, you guys if you've been following the news, there's a ton of Guardians down in Texas that are in other areas of that region, the Gulf Coast region, that are being flooded out of their homes. And we wanted to do our part. So Bungie is offering the Bungie Love codes if you buy on the Bungie store a code and a pin, and it comes with a code. And that's a really cool limited time emblem. Anyway, so there was a lot of comments from
It
people.
comes with a pin and an emblem, and then all the
Right.
proceeds actually go to the Bungee Foundation, which they've
100%.
pledged. Right, they've pledged to donate to victims of the disaster down in Houston.
Yep.
Right. So what I did is there was a lot of comments from people in Europe and around the globe that couldn't buy the pins. It was too much money to buy the pins. So what one of our listeners and I did is we purchased a bunch of the Bungee Love codes, and we're going to be raffling them off tonight. Hopefully, our goal is to turn $150 in codes to 15,000. So let's just see if we can do that. So. No, not. We're giving away 10 codes, Patrick, and for $5, $5 the donation, and the link is in the chat. Will get you an entry into it, and we're going to run a raffle every half hour.
Multiple entries count, right?
Multiple entries count. So if you donate, $10, you get 2 entries. And it's just a way of raising money. So we wanted to magnify our donation to Bungee, and we're giving away the codes that we got. So if you want to be a part of that and donate, we'll be going on with the podcast. It's not going to be it's not going to be a charity stream, but every half hour we'll stop for a few minutes and we'll talk and we'll announce a winner, and then we'll keep going. But if you're in chat, click on that link, donate some money, and it's going to a good cause. We are actually donating it to the same exact charity that, and I'll put a link in chat. It's the same charity that the Bungee Foundation is using to donate the money to. So we're trying to take our donation and expand it into a larger donation and send it to the same place. So please be a part of it, and hopefully you win. So
just follow the directions in the chat there.
Yep.
And we'll get you hooked up.
Good to go.
Guys, the PC beta.
The
Good.
PC beta.
God.
The PC beta. It just ended today. Our last day.
Can I just say, I hated that it ended at 10 a.m.
Yo,
I
was
wanted it
too,
to be
because
like
my stream
7.
didn't start till
Agreed.
1 and I didn't know.
I
So I started
know,
my stream
same.
up and I'm like, oh, there's no beta today. I guess I'll play this.
I woke up
know.
at 9 and I was like, I can't get on in time to play the beta. It's 9. What? No, I was very upset.
I was streaming last night and I didn't realize this. I was like, guys, what time's the beta end tomorrow? I'm assuming 9 p.m. or
7
something or
p.m.
7 p.m.
Yeah.
And everybody's like 10 a.m. and I was like, 10 a.m. You mean
What do you
this
mean?
is my last Destiny 2 beta PC stream?
Right.
I
Or
wasn't
maybe they'll
prepared for that.
extend it, extend it like they did for the console. Maybe, I don't know, till the 5th or so.
Or at least over the weekend. So people who can play it on the weekends have time.
You're right.
Right?
Yeah, there's a lot of people
My
that
God,
actually
guys, though,
couldn't
it
play
was a glorious thing to behold.
How glorious?
I mean, it was
Tell
it was
me.
unbelievable. I gotta say, we'll talk about the frames, I'm sure, and we'll talk about field of view sliders and all that stuff. But I gotta say, the changes they made to PvE and to PvP between the console beta and the PC beta, I gotta say, were spectacular.
Yes.
They were.
PvE in particular was so much more fun than it was in the console beta. When I was playing that strike, I enjoyed playing that strike over and over again as opposed to the console beta. I played it a couple of times. I was like, okay, that was fun. It was a little tedious and I'm bored. Let's go play some PvP. I really had no problem just playing that strike over and over again because, I wanted the gear. I wanted, especially on my hunter, because the hunter gear is so terrible. It was fun to play, though. It was fun to be in PvE. Increased supers, more powerful weapons, increased power for your grenades. It was good.
Yeah. Also, the glorious, beautiful, pretty particles on the PC.
It's when you go
It
you
did
start
look
the
really
mission
nice.
Yes.
and you go into the outside area of the tower and you see the rain and you're like, this rain is so pretty.
Every
I
time
feel like I can see every drop.
when you
Fire
chuck a
looks
grenade,
like liquid.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
you chuck a grenade and all these particles happen, and like killing Vex or Fallen or it was a whole new experience killing those enemies for me because I was like, this isn't just 60 FPS. I was playing at 200, guys, and when I could keep it at 200.
Brag about it.
Well,
I could play it. I think my max was 170.
So sorry.
Around like 170, 180-ish, around there, yeah.
My condolences. It was beautiful. I mean, it's just getting to experience Destiny in your own home environment, or your environment, I should say, with at least 60 or higher FPS, and seeing what the PC version can do. Like, this is the first time we've been able to step into this type of world from playing 3 years of Destiny 1, capped at 30.
Yeah.
It's an experience.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It is.
It definitely blew my mind away. Just like the moment that I spawned in, like going throughout just the homecoming mission on PC, like I was actually just taken away by everything that I was seeing, like just all of like the graphics, everything, like the Cabals coming in out of nowhere on the huge ball things, seeing Ikora for the first time, like in 60 FPS. It looked amazing. Like it was stunning.
I gotta say though, guys, I was promised unlimited frames.
Yeah.
And
it was an oversight.
I maxed out at 200.
Yeah.
So it's not the Church of
a
Unlimited
hard
Frames.
Well,
Tempty, you are charlatan.
No. You see, every organization has a dream of where it could once go, you see. And this is the dream, to be unlimited.
My dream is taking this conversation into places other than frames.
Definitely not. Hold on. Actually, I want to underline something real quick. I believe the actual release is going to let you change it in a settings file to what the actual cap frame is going to be. So I can't confirm this 100%, but I believe they are adjusting that. So down the road, you will be able to adjust that. And also, it didn't support SLI. So hopefully, in terms of optimization, when it comes to October 24th, that is actually going to get affected. So SLI will be able to take full advantage, and you could actually max out to 240 or 300 frames per second if you have the rig.
That's good news. I really want to max out. I want to overclock this 280 hertz monitor and see what we can really hit.
Can I speak to the 90% of the population that doesn't have a $3,000 computer?
Go right ahead.
All right, cool. So it was really fun to play the beta on my potato computer. So just so you know, if you're worried, I have a average run-of-the-mill computer in my house.
Integrated graphics.
It's an integrated graphics card. It's whatever. I don't even know what it is. I bought it off the floor at Best Buy or something. It's still played the game beautifully. Yes. And I got to tell you that I'm still going to play on PS4. I'm still excited to be on PS4. That is my main console. I have 3 of them in the house. I play with my friends and my family. But as far as the way that the beta looked, even on my potato computer, it was pretty. Mm-hmm. It was a really pretty game.
There's actually some really good resources that are out there right now. If you go to, I think it's Gamers Nexus or Hardware Unboxed, both of those sites ran some pretty good benchmarks on the beta, which, obviously this is a beta, not the full release of the product. But if you're looking to either buy a new PC or upgrade your current PC, you can set a target. I want 1080p at 60 frames per second, and look at those benchmarks that are provided on those websites and really narrow down exactly what you need to spend. So, the resources are out there. Now that we've actually had the product in our hand, we know exactly what will run the game on PC. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd highly recommend checking out those
It was
websites.
Optimized really well.
It really was.
Because, I'm here playing it and streaming it. My computer's totally happy with all the stuff that I have going on, and it was not a problem at all. I didn't have any issues, no struggle, no overheating, no nothing. So my computer is really happy, and I don't have like the craziest computer. I have a good setup, but it's not like you said, the $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 PC.
$5,000.
Can you
imagine?
Did
you guys actually have like any crashes at all? For a beta, it felt pretty stable to me. I had it crash.
Yeah, I got buffaloed.
Yeah, I got error codes.
Error codes.
I never had an
buffaloed into a saxophone.
I think I had it crash at least 6 or 7 times.
I didn't get any crashes.
Well, it was very specific problem, and they fixed it quickly.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah, so there was an exploit that I don't really want to talk about, but they were able to fix it, and I don't want to really talk about it because I'm not sure if they fixed it by I hope they fix it by launch, but I don't want it to affect everybody out there. So they made a patch for it, and it worked the next day. And I didn't have any problems after that. So I hope that's good. Yeah.
All right, talk to me about some PvP here. Like, what did you guys think about the PvP experience?
So
we played a brand new map.
Yeah, so the one thing I will say, it's really nice having all these extra frames. Problem, it feels like the net code of the game or the refresh rate of the servers that we're playing on can't keep up with how quickly I can turn.
Really?
Because I would quickly do a 180 and like jump above someone melee, and it would just like I would just like punch nothing. I would get the lunge off. Like it would sometimes make the sound of hitting. Nothing would happen. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm dead.
See, I predicted this. I said that once we have really high frame rates to highlight the fact of a low tick rate gaming experience, peer-to-peer environment, you're going to notice this stuff blatantly. And it's exactly what happened. Battle Nonsense did some netcode testing. It seems as though we upload at 40 tick rate or 40 hertz, but we don't get 40 hertz from everybody. It's like it ranges from possibly 40 if you're really good connection, but not likely, all the way down to what seems like it could be like 10 tick rate from some people that are doing that whole blinking across or just straight up not taking damage at all.
It looks like
it's
looking for 40, right? It's trying to hit 40.
Yeah, it's trying to get 40
it's
on the
not
PC.
Necessarily hitting it depending on network conditions.
Yeah.
I will say that there was less extreme lag. I saw it maybe once in my game where someone like teleported and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, but
I had somewhere it was like a little funky,
Mhm.
but for the most part, it overall felt like there was less of that lag happening in the PC beta than the console beta.
So I'll say,
How did you feel, Burn? Like, I mean, did you find it laggy, or what was your gameplay experience?
Well, obviously I started beta right from its launch, but I've been mostly focusing on PvP. So even off stream, like after I would get dinner, I'd come back and still be playing it, even if it is off stream, just to get better at keyboard and mouse. But I'd say there was about maybe like 3 or 4 people total that I ran into that were really like noticeably laggy to the point where it was not really that big of a problem, but it was still noticeable that they were lagging, but it wasn't like it was a huge deal, so I didn't really pay too much attention to it.
Can we ask a quick question? Quick survey of the group. Raise your hand if you played primarily with a mouse and keyboard.
exclusively.
Yeah.
I was
Primarily.
50-50, like right across the
My
board.
keyboard was slightly higher than controller.
Am I the only one who played primarily controller?
I didn't touch
I was
controller at all.
50-50. I was literally
50-50?
50-50. Yeah.
I was probably 60-40.
I was probably 75-25. Yeah. I played keyboard for a while, and then I'm like, fuck this shit. And then I went to controller.
You're like, this beta's only 4 days long. I don't have time to learn.
Yeah,
I'm going to learn keyboard and mouse today.
Yeah. To me, it was a lot like the question of, how you change your settings, like someone puts southpaw or inverted or whatever on your.
Mhm.
To me, it felt a lot like that. Like, I've never played games with mouse and keyboard, and it felt like I was going to need roughly around that week to 2 weeks of playtime to really hone to enjoy it. And I just didn't have it. So I plugged in my controller, and to my surprise, it was wonderful.
Exactly like playing on console.
It was
literally, I'm
just with better frames.
I'm playing Destiny with more frames and a wider field of view.
Oh.
And then with a SCUF controller, having the paddles, and it just felt just like
it felt perfect
console, but prettier.
Yeah,
smoother.
I'm actually really excited about that because I like to play Destiny with my feet up on the desk, leaning in back, and, or on the couch, on the big screen TV, and like that is still a possibility if I decide to play some PC Destiny, right? If I want to go grind some strikes for an hour, while I'm waiting for something else, I could just, pop it up on the TV real quick and grind out some strikes with the controller. I don't need to be sitting at my desk upright and be playing on keyboard and mouse. When I want to play keyboard and mouse, I can, and it feels great on keyboard and mouse, but I have the option. It felt great both ways.
Yeah. The option is like that's what's great about it. And the game obviously has been built on controller, and what Vicarious Visions has done to the overall PC build, I think is flawless. Like I'm hands down, I think they've done a magnificent job. So I'm really happy with all that stuff that's happened. For me, I recently got this Logitech G502 mouse that I actually got it for Warframe because I wanted to map the abilities 1 through 4 to my mouse, and it just ended up being perfect for Destiny because I was able to have my melee, grenade, E for resing or like grabbing anything off the wall and stuff like that.
Yeah, interact.
Yeah, interact. I could pop my class ability by nudging the middle mouse to the right. So I could be about to shoot and I could just nudge to the right to pop my class ability.
Always nudge it to the right. Always
just
nudge
a nudge to the right to be able to click that.
Drop
the class ability
the
down
right.
and then continue shooting all that. And I also mapped the Warlock midair dodge to the left nudge of the middle mouse button, so I could like dodge in air like that, just be like boop 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 boop.
That's crazy. That brings up a really good point of how there was a lot of conversations going around about how the difference between keyboard and mouse and playing in the same environment.
This has got to be the biggest controversy of the beta, right?
I think so, but
yeah,
when
the keyboard and mouse guys are genuinely upset that the guys using a controller have aim assist. Genuinely upset.
Let's not talk about
some.
Yeah.
So there's two schools. There's two schools of thought. There's if we're going to take Destiny into a pro esports environment, then aim assist on controllers has to be removed because of potential exploits that could happen. That's what some feel when it comes to the esports side. If Bungie does not take it to the esports side and keeps it a PvE focused game with a really fun PvP component, then keep the aim assist in there. I'm on the keep the aim assist. Everybody should have a option to play the game regardless, because no aim assist on a controller is going to make you not want to play the game. If you can
I have a comment that can completely slay that conversation.
Go for it,
or at least that part of it. Okay, so if they go esports and they're saying it needs to be removed, how about in an esport environment you don't allow a Zim or one of the controller things to be connected?
Yeah.
Because you can do that in a professional environment.
So I guess the argument is that people who use mouse and keyboard and spoof it to make it seem like it's a controller get a benefit with the aim assist. And for me, like, I don't want any aim assist whatsoever on my mouse. It always feels weird if that gets pulled. So it's like, it just seems like it's going to be lazy aim if you go down that path with getting aim assist on your mouse. But people don't want that option in there for people to spoof it to get that the quote unquote edge if you're going to trial or play trials.
And I honestly believe that for the majority of people, this is a moot point. I think there's a lot of people out there that this is not going to influence or affect them.
No.
The average player is not going to be affected by this. And I think that ultimately, the more people we have playing this game and playing it the way they can. I've had a lot of comments from people on Twitter throughout the day that have physical disabilities that can't use a keyboard and mouse but still want to play with their friends in a software program. That want to use a controller. This game is not an esport and is not designed for that level of competitive gameplay. And I think that the people that are trying to make it that are trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. I think this game is designed for the social gamer.
Yeah, I think
I just wanted to also bring up people who have carpal tunnel issues and stuff like that as well. I've heard a lot of people contact me and be like, I physically cannot use keyboard and mouse for longer than like 30 minutes because my hands cramp up and it hurts a lot. So controller enables me to play on a PC. There's some people that, they would prefer to play on PC and they can't do that because of the keyboard and mouse situation and the pain they get. And controller actually enables a lot of people with those issues to play with the frames that they want and the field of view and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And if you take that out, those people they're not going to have that option.
Exactly. I got to say also, if we do end up going down the path of esports with Destiny, and again, we are really far from it. There's no dedicated servers. There's no spectating. There's no private matches. There's
entire infrastructure isn't there.
Yeah, the infrastructure is just not there. Like, if this stuff does get put in there, like all these things, a 60 hertz tick rate, dedicated servers, all that stuff actually does make it in there, and Bungie says, let's make it happen. Then for the PC, what they could do is just make they would just make the ranked playlist have no aim assist then to fix those things if they even did go down that path. But as it is right now, they're nowhere near it. They're making a great PvE game that has a fun PvP component to it.
The complaints I was reading, I read a little bit on the Bungie forums this morning, and on the Reddit, and there was a lot of complaints that people felt that the controller and the mouse and keyboard guy should be separated.
No.
A lot of it was based on
Oh my god.
Zim, the Zim controller, because people were upset that they were getting grouped up with people who had the benefit of using a mouse and keyboard and having aim assist.
I'm sorry, but if you're gonna blame you possibly losing on something else like that, this is gonna be a very unpopular opinion, but get good. Seriously,
I played a lot of PvP.
It's a very blunt opinion, but seriously, if you think that type of thing is separating you from getting better at the game, it's not. It's you. It's seriously.
And I think the only. I'm sorry, Tefty, go ahead.
I was gonna say I played a lot of PvP in the past 3 days on Destiny 2, and there wasn't once where I died and said, "God,
it's a controller.
Controller
He's using a
killed me
controller."
because he's using a controller. I got outplayed." Like that is ridiculous to think about, honestly.
I
that is
actually
their
played
narrative.
with my controller
That
and
is-
was like, that guy's using a keyboard and mouse, and he's
He was
sniping
able
too
to.
fast.
He was
That's
able to
cheating.
turn around in one frame. It's
Tefty,
amazing.
that is exactly the narrative that's happening on the Budgie forums right now, though. If you
That's
go to the
only
Budgie forums
downside of this. Yeah.
and you read it, like that is the narrative. That guy beat me because he's got aim assist on his controller, or that guy beat me because he's got aim assist on his Zim 4.
That makes
That guy has a
Most
Zim
people
is going to
don't
be
care,
the
no.
new like
He's got a scuff.
that guy's that you know how in like Call of Duty or whatever in Halo or it was like the guy's lag switching.
Got a modded controller.
When you die,
control.
you just it's a modded controller. So that's going to be the new thing. And I'm telling you, like when I could tell when I was coming up against a guy with a keyboard and mouse because they were able to move so quickly, right? Like I feel like on a controller to turn, it's almost like slow motion, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, it's like-
so if you're choosing to use a controller in the PC environment, you're going to be at a slight disadvantage. And there's some aspects where you're going to have a slight advantage. And I understand that there's this thing called a Zim that everybody's up in arms about. But to be honest with you, that's only going to affect a very small group of people at the very top that have that level of skill. And it's just not going to affect us. It's just not going to affect the average player. Your skill gap is not that close.
Yeah.
Remember that?
As
remember
good
that
as
thing
you
called,
think you are, you're not that good.
was
Remember
about,
that thing called skill-based matchmaking, where even if like, say this person is doing better than you, well then you're probably not going to play him because skill-based matchmaking is in the game.
I mean,
That's another thing, though. Skill-based matchmaking in the quick play playlist seem to be toned way down.
Yeah.
I was like, these guys
Yes.
don't even know anything. They know how to generally move and shoot in my direction, but they don't know to pick up power ammo. They're just ignoring the thing on the side of the wall.
Power
They're
ammo
like,
was up to
"What's
grabs.
that?" Oh, I could
Power
get it whenever
ammo
I wanted. It was
completely-
mine.
Yeah, it was completely up for grabs.
There,
Like the whole, yeah.
Yeah.
day one, there was a lot of people who were trying to shoot me with a SMG from a long way away, and I was like, "You've never played Destiny before."
I love this. It's like Christmas noobs.
how many did you guys see them? How many of you got mercies?
Oh, there's a lot of
Yeah,
mercies.
a lot of mercies.
Well, so
quite a few, yeah.
the spread though from the console beta to the PC beta, holy shit balls.
Yeah,
there was really wide gap on the mercy. It was really
Well, they knew
really bad.
they changed it from like also from 75 to 100 to win, and also to 60 10 is the new mercy rule. A lot of people are like, this is a little too long for mercy, but
Yeah.
well, there were multiple games where it was like I ended at like 100 to 16, and I was like, that should have been a mercy at some point in that equation. The game should have been like, okay, we'll just
And maybe when there's like a 60-point spread total, any point in
Yeah.
the game, like call the mercy rule.
that would make sense. Yeah.
it was kind of rough.
I don't know. I had the most fun on my computer. I was about to say something that was for later in the podcast, but
Mhm.
I've had the most fun on my computer ever playing a game.
It was great.
It
was great.
glorious.
It was
I'm
great.
so sad it's over.
What is it? October 24th, the PC version
Yes.
comes out.
And if you don't have a PC, don't worry. We have follow us next week. We're going to start announcing our PC giveaway. We have a custom PC with keyboard, mouse, Razer keyboard,
it's
mouse.
getting built by On Air PC. This is going to be completely bespoke, completely custom. I believe.
Nice.
I don't think we know the specs for sure yet, but
not yet. But we're going to get.
Going to be plenty able to play some Destiny. That's for sure.
It's going to be really nice, and it's going to come with a copy of Destiny 2 and
Destiny 1.
Destiny 1.
Destiny 1. I know. I'm just thinking, like, I bought out
complete collection.
You have no idea how many people asked me that when I wrote out like, hey, and a copy of Destiny, and they're like, which one?
The Taken King. It's actually only the Taken King.
Only the Taken King.
Or Xbox.
Vanilla Destiny.
Original Xbox.
Make sure you pay attention next week, and you're not gonna have to purchase anything to join it.
Yeah.
Just follow the instructions, and you'll be able to possibly win that.
I got a question for you guys. What did you settle for your field of view?
You could change that. What does that mean?
How much viewing angle you have. So on consoles,
sure,
it feels like it's 70 or 75, which is like you're always looking like in a box, essentially.
It feels like you're like a horse with blinders on.
Yeah. Which kind of makes the hunter jump a little kind of like wonky sometimes. Mm-hmm. But then you max out that field of view, and suddenly the hunter jump is godly because you can just float over everything. I personally landed on 100 because 105, I don't like things looking like fisheye lens at the end.
Yeah,
I hate that look. And even though I want to be able to see everything from a competitive sense, I'd much rather have it look a little bit normal. So I settled on 100 for me.
What would you recommend for an average player like myself who is coming over from console? Is there pros and cons? What
I would go 100.
I'd say 100. Yeah. 100? That's what I used.
Is that what you
played? 100 as well. It felt pretty good to me.
Yeah. I would go 100 if your frame rate can support it. If you can't maintain 60 FPS because of it, then drop your field of view, because the less information in the field of view, the better the frame rate will be.
Well, understand, Tefty, I'm coming from 30 frames, so anything above that's good.
Yeah, this is true.
Okay. All right. Remember, I'm amongst the converted now.
Right. Yeah. Welcome.
Sooner or later, I'll be like selling blood at the local blood bank for that new 1080, 60, 20, 30, 20 Ti thing coming out.
2080 Ti.
I don't know. I just threw out numbers because that's all you guys do sometimes. I feel like you could be talking about ordering something from a fast food restaurant and just using
I'll have a
code.
number 2 folled by a number 4 with a 59.
You throw out all these numbers and then add TI at the end, and the other person goes, yeah.
TI.
Get it over.
I get that chimichanga TI, please.
Strix OC TI, please.
But I'm learning a lot. I'm really learning a lot, and it was a great introduction to the PC community. I felt like, I didn't get teabagged once.
I got teabagged.
I got teabagged.
I did.
I got
I was like,
teabagged.
what? You don't even know who I am. What are you doing? Why are you being mean? Leave me alone.
You did. You pulled the "Do you know who I am" card.
You know you don't know who I am.
You don't know who I am.
You don't know who I am. Why are you doing this to
But
me?
you should, and you will.
You will.
So I spent the
on
whole game
Thursdays.
teabagging him back. It was fine. It was great.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a really good experience, and I went in mostly with teams, but I did for a while there. I went in as an individual, and it was fun. I feel like most people were still learning the game.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun, and they were doing things that they would do in other shooters. It was great to see people learning the mechanics and the mechanisms.
Yeah.
At one point, I was playing on a pretty stacked team. I think it was Tuesday night. And literally at one point, somebody said, "We just caused these guys to cancel their pre-order." Like it was that rough sometimes. It was fun, though.
Burn, did you play with like a group or solo?
I don't think there was one time that I actually ran solo. Maybe
Really?
one time for a strike, but I do remember seeing from the console beta that the game for PvP definitely changed from Destiny 1 into Destiny 2, especially in terms of team shotting and, how many players it actually, like more teamwork. And I do like that. So I ran more with a group of people in Crucible. So kind of pretty much mostly just people that I was playing with. So
Okay.
I felt like you could get
Bunch of
away with
friends.
lone wolfing a little bit more on this
It
map
felt like
than you
it,
could.
yeah.
Like
A little
I
bit,
think
yeah.
I
I
think
love
that's
the map.
I think that's the lone wolfing thing is mostly due to, well, I think we all very quickly realized that the meta and the beta on PC is hand cannon, and
followed by hand cannon.
Hand cannon.
I was
Scavelock was
winning
pretty
a lot
good.
of gunfights with
Scavelock
auto
was
rifle.
very good as well.
It was very good.
And then you realize
I
when
use phosphorus quite a bit, actually.
the hand cannon cross-taps people because there's no aim assist fall off.
Really? I haven't talked to anybody who had used an SMG.
I used hand cannon SMG for a while.
Really?
Yeah, I like the SMG quite a bit.
What did you like about it, Burn?
I was actually doing a lot of hip firing with it because I was doing more mouse and keyboard, so I was learning how like the whole aiming versus like with a mouse versus an analog stick, and it felt like more clean, I guess. I've been doing more Overwatch is in terms of like practicing, I guess, mouse and keyboard for Destiny 2. So I've been like learning how to like, I guess hip fire with all these characters because you can't really ADS with them in Overwatch. So I was hip firing a lot with the SMGs, and it felt really, really nice to actually use those. Hand cannons as well, though, were really, really good. I don't know why everybody was saying the Minuet was a really, really good hand cannon. I personally could not, get to their level then with that hand cannon.
Better
but there was
Devils
another one.
was a little bit better.
Yeah, Better Devils for sure.
Because like
really
on console, aim assist fall off. Like you can't really hit someone at long range because you can't really it doesn't stick over on them long enough for you to really get your aim right. But on PC, you just put your mouse over something and pull the trigger. And so Better Devils, when it had explosive rounds, the damage basically just carried off the entire time, and you were doing pretty solid work.
Yep. Yeah. I couldn't get a Better Devils to drop for my Titan.
Oh,
same. Yeah. I got so many. Was the pulse rifle, primary pulse rifle?
Nightshade.
Yes, I got so many Nightshades on the last day or today, and I could not get a hand cannon on my Titan. It's impossible for some reason.
Because I was using Scavelock because I didn't have Better Devils. Because when you went up against a team that knew what was up and would team shoot you with Better Devils, it was like, okay, I'm staying out of here. No thanks. So I kept on hoping it would drop for me, and it didn't happen. So I was rocking Scavelock and then the Minuet, and that was pretty good. I hated the sniper still. It's just I don't.
Yeah.
The sound, just everything. I'd get a few snipes here and there, but I was just like, God, I can't wait to actually get a sniper that I like in Destiny 2.
Ooh,
it was the sight that threw me off for that one.
Yeah,
like it was like a big rectangle-y thing that took up like most of your screen. It was like
and pretty deep focal length too, where it was like really
Did you guys try out the linear fusion rifle in PvE?
Yes.
In PvP, and I destroyed faces.
Yeah, it's the linear fusion rifle in
PvP
is like just use a sniper. But in PvE, the linear fusion rifle was actually doing like really good damage. It was doing significantly more than it was last time, which is nice to see.
Yeah. All the weapons across the board, the weapons were doing more damage in PvE.
I think the sniper stayed the same.
That's sad. That's sad. Pope, do you want to do the first giveaway?
Yeah, we're running into right around 7:00, and as people jump into the stream, they're asking a bunch of questions. We're doing our podcast, and in the background in chat, we're going to be giving away codes for to raise money for those people in Texas that are being affected by the floods. We're giving to the same donation that Bungie is giving. All you have to do is click on the donation link, donate $5 or more. Every $5 will give you one entry, and we're going to be picking a code every half an hour. So just make sure to jump in there and donate. So I'm going to ask our mods to go ahead and pick a winner for the first half hour segment, and make sure you follow us on Twitter at DestinyCompod. That's how we will be able to send you the code. They just came out a couple days ago on the Bungie store. So if you wanted to buy one yourself, you could also donate to the same charity by just going to the Bungie store and buying a pin. But there's a lot of people that can't buy the pins, so we're offering this tonight. And as soon as they arrive, they're in the mail. We'll get them in the next day or so. We'll send you the link. So pay attention to the chat. Mr. Aries will announce the winner. It looks like he got one right now. Let's find out who it is. Go ahead and post it in the chat, Aries. All right.
Swag Juice.
Looks like Swag Juice 987. The Swag Juice.
God damn.
Congrats.
Swag Juice.
Gotta love that Swag Juice. All right, Aries, thank you very much. So we'll do another code. He's going to get
Another one at 7:30, right?
We're going to do another one at 7:30. So we won't be talking about the charity runoff, but make sure you're dropping. If you so we'll do a whole nother one, and make sure to add more donations if you want to add more.
Every $5 adds another raffle into it, so you can have multiple raffles in there.
That's right. All right, let's get that going, and we're going to go ahead and move on with the podcast.
We got some news this week as well. Speaking of power weapons, the main ingredient already. It's not a Destiny game until the fusion rifles get nerfed, right?
Oh yeah,
feels like Destiny now, guys.
Can we talk about the THWAB? The first thing is the trailer. I mean, we really didn't talk about the trailer.
Yes.
The trailer was cool.
Can we get into that?
It was live action trailer. Looked amazing. The puppies.
The puppies.
Cade is a cat guy. We learned that.
I knew there was. I knew there was something about him. To be honest with you,
that trailer really nailed it. It was humorous. It was exciting. It definitely fed into the power fantasy of Destiny, right?
Yes.
Like, the music was spot on. Was sabotaged by the Beastie Boys. Like, by the end of that trailer, I was more amped to play Destiny than I was at the beginning of the trailer.
Yes.
And then the second time, I was more amped. And the third time I watched it, I was even more amped. Like, the trailer is just spot on. They nailed it with that trailer.
It's beautiful.
Now, the trailer was done by the director who directed Kong Skull Island.
Wow.
I just think that's like big time, I guess.
That makes me want to go watch Kong Skull Island.
Yeah, so I was going to ask if you guys had seen it, because Skull Island I thought was really good, and I thought it was interesting. And so when I heard that,
have not seen
so
it.
go check it out. It's the same sort of large.
Can
vista.
I stream it on Twitch? Is it on Twitch?
Okay. So it was a really good film. I highly recommend seeing it. But anyway, the director that directed that also directed the live action trailer, and I feel like he nailed it.
Going up in the world, huh?
I feel like he nailed it.
Yeah.
He's going to throw that on his resume for sure.
The opening with like the latte exploding, and then he moves into the all the different things exploding. He's like the Grand Canyon. Well, that's okay still. It was funny.
And there's like a little explosion. Pew!
Right. It was funny, and then the guy like reacting to the puppies.
Yeah.
Like the whole overreaction of the thing was really
all the foods exploding. Apparently, different foods explode, and depending on what language you watch the trailer in, like in Italian, it's like grandmother's lasagna. On the UK version, it's like a platter of beans and toast and eggs and like the tomato, and instead of a latte, it's tea.
That's really
so
cool.
It's culturally responsive.
That's really cool.
Interesting.
Awesome.
I did accidentally watch it in French. Hilarious.
Is it?
Still funny.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go.
I don't know who's playing the part of Nathan Fillion, but he's French.
Is it still sabotage?
I don't remember. Probably
sabotage in French.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I love that. Afterwards, people just erupted on Twitter. I remember I sent out a tweet saying, "Send me your puppy pics. I need fuel to rage my fight against Gaul." The number of guardians out there who love their dogs and cats, a lot of cat pics sent too. I got hundreds of photos of everybody's dogs, and they are so freaking cute. It was so great. It made a really hard day today at work awesome. I got to see people's, their children essentially, and it was really fun to have that experience. But awesome. Did you guys think that? Because remember, we've seen Call of Duty-esque live action trailers before on Destiny.
This was better.
This killed it. Way better.
This sold the fantasy. I was like, I cannot. And also they did all the renderings of the abilities in that ultra reality type of feel. It was so cool. Like Dawnblade coming overhead, going head to head with the Cabal at the end right there. It was great. I'm gonna have to watch it. My wife watched it.
She didn't play Destiny. She doesn't care about Destiny. She watched it. She's like, I wish they would make a movie out of this. Like that's how much she liked it.
Yeah. Destiny movie.
It was good. We also had
movie, right?
There's an even bigger piece of information in the TWAB.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
3 pieces of information.
A lot of info.
4.
Ooh, we need to talk about that too.
So first off, the release time is at like midnight wherever you are. It's a rolling except I know in like America, it's based on midnight Eastern.
I do have a
9
question about
p.m.
that,
Pacific,
Okay.
midnight Eastern.
If you have the physical copy, do you gain access when the servers are live, or is the game going to know what region you are in and not allow you to access it until your
They're
region?
probably going to base it off whatever region your PlayStation account is from.
Are they though? Because somebody got banned on Twitch for playing about 6 hours of the campaign because they had because they had the copy on CD.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
So I
did hear about that.
So I think it's actually the key gives you access to the servers, and the servers don't understand what region.
Then we
in.
need as a physical copy because I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting 19 hours. Okay.
Because we only have a week to grind to get to the raid. Yeah. Raid goes live after 1 week.
September 13th
10
at 10 a.m. Pacific. Wow.
And then Trials comes up about 2 days later, so that's going to be.
Yep.
Gosh,
it'll be quite the grind. I don't think I'm going to be leaving my room at all. At least the first 4 days.
I feel sorry for you guys.
Twitch streamer.
Look, here's what I'm doing. I'm going to spend a lot of time with my family this weekend.
Sure.
I'm going to tell them goodbye. Tell them that I love them.
You love
them.
them.
That I'll always love them.
Always.
Even if you don't see me for a bit.
I'm going to be gone.
Can't wait.
I remember when Destiny 1 first came out, I actually spent like 17 hours. Then this was before I was a streamer or anything. Like I literally just spent like about 17 hours for like 3 days just playing Destiny 1. So I'm just like imagining what that's going to be like now for Destiny 2. Like, am I really going to be like up that amount of time just because of how awesome the game itself is going to be or not? I'm pretty sure it's going to be awesome anyway. So I mean, just by playing the beta.
The people at DoorDash and like Postmates and all those food delivery services, they're probably going to get to know me very well after the first 2 weeks or so.
Yes.
Well, now that Amazon bought Whole Foods and they deliver groceries to your house.
I don't need groceries. I need already prepared food delivered into my mouth.
Who's got time to cook, Pope?
We don't have time to cook.
I'm
gonna meal prep. I'm meal prepping.
If the microwave time is over 2 minutes, I'm out. I'm done with it.
Exactly.
It's too long.
I will say I wish they had put it 2 weeks off instead of 1 week because a lot of people are going to have a tough time finding time to a lot of people will want to participate in this great event of experiencing the raid for the first time. We're obviously in a position, except for you, Pope, to be able to do that. So we're lucky in that sense in terms of Destiny lifing. But a lot of people are not in a position where they could do that. So it sucks that they're not going to be able to be a part of that first wave of going in and being raid ready and all that. And I really, really wish that they would not do that and make it 2 or 3 weeks. I'm really happy that it's not the following Friday because that was scaring the bejesus out of me. You know,
that's what they did for the last
King
2
and Rise of Iron. Yeah. Which luckily they're not. They're giving us a whole week, which at least that's something. It's not 2-3 days. It's a whole week. So us as streamers and content creators,
you got to level up from 0.
Yeah. So I want to throw this out here too. There's how many story missions have they speculated at? Like 50 something?
55.
Something like
55.
Something like that.
There's 55 story missions. That is a lot of time in one character to get through the story.
Yeah.
To then get to the end game to grind to get to raid ready gear.
Yeah.
I know.
The story missions are incredibly short and we're going to get to max level very easily. And that's a bad sign.
That's bad.
Or we're going to have to put in a lot of hours to get ready.
So let me ask you, Burn, you say you primarily PvP, but how are you going to tackle PvE?
Well, actually, originally when I first started playing Destiny, I bought the game from launch. So like the first 30 minutes that the game was released and the servers were live, I was online already playing. And I actually used to be a PvE main. I actually did not like PvP because I thought it was too difficult. I used to be like a Call of Duty player. So going into like supers and abilities and all this stuff, I was so confused by it. I didn't actually like it at first. So I actually chose to stick more with PvE and just grind everything out of that. Like I would always, like on my Titan, there's like about 200 something raids completed because I would always wake up at 6 o'clock or 4 o'clock or whatever time zone shift in the morning, just trying to, get up and get all of my characters done on the Vault of Glass and Crota raid. And then I guess, the weekly Nightfall 3 times each, and then the weekly Strike as well, because back when that was just only one Strike. So I did actually a lot of PvE before I started actually streaming. So there was all of that. So I'm probably going to do about the same thing, probably.
A world's first raid team?
I don't know about the world's first. I would like to attempt it.
You're gonna attempt it, right? Do you got a squad already picked, or is that something that you're gonna wait to do?
I do not have a squad already picked, and I should. I know that I should always be like looking into that kind of stuff, sooner rather than later. But right now, for me, the number one thing that I'm doing is like trying to upgrade all my equipment and everything, getting like Destiny 2 like stream ready wise and everything. But like once all that's done, like setting up a raid team, like setting up just like the main story mission team, like who is going to be like the 3 people that I will be like trying to run all of those through. I don't know, considering how many apparent missions that they're giving us, I don't know if will we actually be able to complete all of those in one day, or will it take multiple days?
So that's a lot of questions. I mean, we don't know what the best strategy to get raid ready is. One of the things that I noticed in the THWAB is that Nightfalls will be ready when you are. So I have a feeling that at whatever, if we have access to them, and also getting to the light level where you can get into those patrol, special events.
Wasn't it level 28 or 27 minimum for the very first Nightfall?
Getting up to that level is going to be key, and I think grinding those public events is probably going to be key.
So in the past, our strategy has often been like, let's have all 3 characters kind of raid ready for the raid, and then for the Taken King raid, what we did is we actually left the raid, ran through it on a second character, got some more highlight level gear out of that second playthrough, put that back on our mains, came back in and finished the raid.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to be a possibility here.
It was possible there because we only had to level up 5-10 levels. This we have to start from zero, up, and then level. I assume get our light level up too. Like it's
we have 3 days.
Our guns might be trash too. We could have awful guns, awful armor. We could be like the right level, but we have bad stuff for the raid. Like who
weapon
knows,
mods and everything as well. That might need to grind for just on top of that.
Well, I
remember going into the Vault of Glass for the first time with blue weapons.
Same.
We could be back.
They said they're going to put descriptions on things that say power gear for when something that can drop at a higher levels for you in the end game content, which I thought was interesting. So we'll probably be able to go to these patrol areas, look at the events or the type of stuff, and it will say whether or not it has the possibility of dropping high gear for us, like a Nightfall.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's great. I suspect that Nightfall is going to be very important.
Nightfalls are going to be important. Yeah, I think honestly a lot of the patrol stuff is going to be important, especially if it doesn't open up until later on in the campaign.
Any chance to get legendary engrams, possibly including Iron Pop-Tarts.
Iron Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. That's the thing. I mean, it's gonna be a thing, right?
I mean, if you want to get raid ready in a hurry, so buy a bunch of Rockstar and Pop-Tarts and be a little more raid readier.
One of the things that you guys may not know, and is that I am going to be off of work.
But you'll have a newborn.
Yes, maybe not.
Maybe you can raid with us.
Babies just take care of themselves too.
Here's what I heard anyway.
Give them access to the microwave.
You have a son, he can help.
You're good.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Here's what's going to happen. I am off of work as of Monday. So tomorrow's my last day of work, and I won't go back for 6 weeks. So I may be raid ready with you guys.
Oh,
that would be nice.
Pope is a wild card.
Pope's never been on our raid team for that world's first attempt.
I might just be the rabbit's foot you need.
And Pope is a PvE master.
I am PvP, but I wouldn't put master in anything. But I do play PvE more than PvP for sure.
Yeah.
This is Anything else in the thwab?
Did you guys see the engram thing in there? I don't know if this has been.
Yes.
So, okay. Has this been confirmed where your engrams are now stored in a separate location for decryption?
It looks like it,
Yeah,
because
like-
usually it would take up your actual,
Yeah.
when you look at your character, it would be in your character, right? But now it seems
So-
like there's an actual engram.
Yeah, before you pick up
section.
an engram and it would go in the slot and you already know what slot it was. So you'd be like, oh, I just got a primary weapon one.
Yeah.
Now it looks like you're not going to know what engram that is. It's going to be like,
Oh, so the engrams can be random for what gear they hold?
on that picture, it looked like it was an engram that holds gear. We don't know what gear.
Yes.
And it tells you what power level it will absolutely decrypt to. So minimum power level that it's going to give you, and it has a possibility of going higher apparently through RNG. But it could be helmet, it could be primary, it could be power weapon, could be any of that stuff. I thought that was great, honestly. I'm a little concerned about it storing just 10 engrams though.
Yeah.
Maybe it scrolls.
That could be a problem. Yeah.
It said 1 out of 10, and I was like, 1 out
Yeah,
of 10.
it does. It says 1 out of 10.
Maybe it gets more as you level up. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe
you can
Maybe-
buy more
maybe
with
Ted-
microtransactions.
Pethy, maybe you'll have to actually
Microtransactions.
manage your inventory for once in your
No.
life.
Throwing shade.
Shut your
You're
dirty
gonna
mouth.
keep taking us to the farm to decrypt our engrams. We're just gonna be like, oh, I'm got 10, gotta go.
Well, at least you don't have to go to orbit to go to the farm. You can just go to
That's
the
true.
farm from your.
That's
Oh,
true.
actually, that's a good point.
helps a bit of
And
time.
maybe you don't have to go anywhere to decrypt engrams anymore. Maybe you don't have to
Maybe
go
you can
see-
decrypt them on your character. But
What
then
if-
what does Burnbxx do?
Yeah, I was like, what's the point of the cryptarch
Yeah.
at that point then?
Also,
What
what's
if
the
you
point
can
of having
go
them,
to the
like, split
cryptarch
right there?
And what if you go to the cryptarch as like a vendor slash I don't know, where you add multiple engrams, you can contribute 3 or 4 or 5 engrams into one roll.
Maybe
You wanna
she's
change
like
it.
Greater
another-
roll, maybe?
You want to
What if you
refine
gamble?
engrams?
Pop-Tarts.
I'm thinking of Breath of the Wild and like how you make the
Cooking
meals.
engrams?
Cooking engrams, like you add in some purples and you add in and you're like
I want to get some gear of dubious quality.
yeah. You
Yeah.
mix the wrong amount, too many whites, and you get like dubious, gear.
And you got like a dubious butt
You get a
towel?
thorn.
You get a
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, so you could I don't know, maybe tires there is some sort of like progression system with tire, like maybe tire is the key to get it. What happens when you get multiple the better devils that Luke was talking about, for all we know.
yeah.
That is
Oh,
one of the
maybe.
exciting things about Destiny 2 right now is that we don't know how these systems
We don't
work.
know
You know,
for-
we're so
Not
Don't know.
And we're not getting the spoilers are out there.
Yeah. It looks like a lot of this stuff, though, when it comes to engram, is going to be like endgame. Looks like it's just going to be legendary engrams that are picked up and put in there. Because on some of the footage, you open up one of those chests, it's like it popped out blue gear that was already decrypted.
That's true, yeah. So I guess it is just legendary onwards.
Maybe.
That
I don't
turn into just engrams then?
Maybe. I don't. I'm just speculating right now. I don't know. Like I also haven't watched any of the hour and a half of just
I
pure
refuse
gameplay.
to watch that.
Yeah, same. I don't want any
I'm
more
not
spoilers
watching
from
that
it.
at all, no.
No.
I'm only taking spoilers that are literally from Bungie.
Yep. It's not
And-
spoilers, it's news.
Then it's news. I feel like we are going to get some pretty nice stuff coming out of PAX. And
Yeah.
what I mean by nice, I mean not like spoilers and getting crazy new stuff, but that we're going to get some art assets and things that are exciting to see from the
Oh,
panels.
that'd be cool.
I really have always liked that we used to get. We haven't really gotten them recently, but we'd get wallpapers and high res images through the thwab. We would get back in the day, and it would be great to put those as wallpaper on your computer.
Hey,
but I'm
speaking of,
hoping that we get some of those from those panels that they're doing.
Speaking of panels at PAX
Yeah.
tomorrow at noon,
Right?
Watts and I are going to be on the content creator panel at
Ooh,
PAX.
nice.
So if
Awesome.
you guys happen to be there,
Yeah.
come down, say hi.
Who are you going to be on in there with?
We are going to be on there. It'll be Watts, me, Dado, She Snaps, and Mav Show. And
Cool.
then Deej will
It's gonna
be
fun.
moderating.
Yes,
Nice.
Siege will be moderating.
That's going to
So-
be fun.
Should be a fun time for sure. I asked them if it's going to be streamed. Unfortunately, it looks like it won't be. So hopefully they record it and put it up live somewhere later, because I don't know. I feel like the stuff that showing, people will want to see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. They have some really cool panels that are happening. So I hope they record them some kind of way, even if it's just audio and they just throw it up somewhere. But something.
Yeah.
Can you guys do me a favor and take some pictures while you're there and post them to our Instagram account?
Sure.
Yes.
I can't, but Watts can, since she is the holder.
I need the info, but yes, I can do that.
Yes, you will get the info.
Thank
The same as all the rest. But yes.
There is something that we glossed over in the TWAB, guys.
Oh.
What?
Trials 2 days after
Oh, yeah.
Trials
raid.
on the 15th.
Oh my god.
2 days
Talking
later,
about all
10
these raids, and then
a.m.
suddenly there's a competitive game mode. With
Are you going to have to pick your
friends.
poison to prep for one or the other, or can you prep for both?
I'm assuming you
I
prep
think
for
you
both.
prep for both.
Yeah,
Sure.
I would assume both, yeah.
yeah.
This game isn't like WoW, where you have to stack a specific armor type to be competitive in PvP or PvE. You should be able to use everything.
We don't know that it is, right?
Yeah, we don't know.
Plus,
It'll be a
everybody's
fun
probably gonna be
trials too, because everybody's
the
going to be
same level.
wildly different light levels, right?
Right.
Mm.
It should be a lot of fun.
Everyone's gonna have like RNG gear and everything, so nobody's
Imagine-
gonna really be like of like super high level versus like super
Right.
low level. We'll all pretty much be like around the same boat, you know.
Well, what if you got really lucky in the raid and you got those drops plus the Vex Mythoclass-esque, weapon
Yeah,
that's
like
broken,
Ooh, and just
and you
destroy.
show up.
Ultra
It's
rare.
gonna be
Show
a
up
good
to
week of
PV
trials.
and you're just like, I'll do carry solo. It's good.
You're like nuke button, nuke. I'm interested in that. I think it's going to be really fun. Is nobody knows what the actual meta really is going to be. Like
Right.
there could
Nope.
be a particular hand cannon or pulse rifle or something that gets discovered that drops from a certain area on Nessus that you have to do and kill this one thing to open a lost sector, whatever it is, and then it happens to drop this weapon, and that becomes one of the best PvP weapons. Like that stuff is really fun to find out.
I can't wait for the loot.
Mm-hmm.
Like Trials loot has always looked pretty gorgeous. So
Mhm.
I am
Oh,
super
yes.
excited to see what the armor and the weapons are going to look like.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to have there was a progression in Destiny 1 from regular weapons to an armor to glowy things?
Yeah, there was.
We
Definitely.
got progressively more glowy.
We got like
We did get more
super
glowy.
deep
We did, yes.
under the sea type of glowy creations under there that never see sunlight.
we started out with little accent colors
Yeah.
and then little things like that, and next thing you know, we're a freaking Christmas tree.
Yeah.
I want to be a Christmas tree.
I would like
I
to also
prefer
be a
Christmas
Christmas
trees.
tree.
Do we start Destiny 2 as Christmas trees?
And then get even brighter Christmas tree?
Whoa.
I mean, where do
I
you
would-
go
I
if
would
you
love
start
that.
Christmas tree?
We go the World of Warcraft route and make our shoulder pads bigger. The better our
I think
armor,
the Titans
the
are
definitely
bigger
doing that
shoulder
on the
pads.
Titan.
Yeah,
Destiny
Titans
2.
are already kind of. We don't need Titans to be.
Hunter,
Yeah.
we make the capes even more frabjous.
If only there was a
More
card
flowy,
system,
more
guys.
flappy.
If only like they introduced a Magic the Gathering card system into Destiny 2, guys, then I'd be really happy.
What the fuck are you doing right now, Tappy?
Oh my God! Tell us about how they could do that, Patrick. How would they be able to?
But no,
incorporate it?
that was sarcasm. Do not pop that can open. Jesus, do not ask a question like that to Pat. How they could introduce a system? Oh my God.
All right. So, is there anything?
The only
else?
thing I want to introduce into this system are these wild mics and headphones, because no doubt you've noticed them. It's just some of the iconic gear that Blue creates. Blue's award-winning products are the driving force behind internet, esports teams, internet creators, and elite gaming teams, content creators. One of those.
Nailed it.
Damn it! I lost my train of thought. Yeah.
No doubt you
Patrick.
heard. These wild mics. and
No
headphones.
doubt you've heard about these crispy transitions that I then mess up every single week because I'm very, very bad at planning. Their Yeti USB mic is the internet's most popular microphone, and their Sadie and Lola headphones deliver insane sound in a very personalized fit. Blue offers everything you need to completely immerse yourself in the ultimate gameplay experience. Learn more about Blue at bluemic.com. I apologize for messing that one up. The page that I had pulled up decided to turn entirely black, and I was like, "Oh, I have to refresh
it
Chrome."
did.
Great, good job.
Sure, it
Good job.
did.
Pope, do you want to give away another emblem, another pin?
We want to give away another pin. So, those of you that are just arriving to the podcast, behind the scenes in the chat, we are raising money for people in need in Texas and in that Gulf State area that are being affected by Hurricane.
Gulf.
That's what I said.
Golf.
Golf.
I heard
Whatever.
golf.
So they are in need of support, and we are donating to Direct Relief. It's a company that Bungie Foundation is also supporting in the sale of these Bungie Love in-game codes. So what we did is we went and bought a bunch from the Bungie store, and we're offering them for $5. You get remember, this is for a charity. And for $5, you get one entry, and for $10, you get two, $15, you get three, and you get a chance to win one of the codes. So we're going to be pulling a code, sometimes two. Do you want to pull two?
But when you say that, you mean code and emblem, right? I mean the pin, right?
Because because this is part of the problem. Shipping the pin to all. There's a lot of people that are fans of the show that are not in the United States. So
this is just for the emblem.
This is just for the code. It's cost prohibitive to ship us the pin places.
Got it.
So if we'll be giving them away at the next Guardian Con. So if you see us at the Guardian Con booth, we'll be giving away the Bungie Love code, the actual pins, the physical pins. But today is just the codes. So we're giving all those people in Europe and throughout the world that could not purchase one an opportunity to get one.
Cool.
So just go ahead and put in some money. Remember, it's going to a good cause. Everything's on the up and up. I will show you personally the donation that I make, and all of the balance sheets will be made available for you to see, so that you can see that I am being honest. All right, so go ahead and throw some money in there, and our goal is I spent $150 on the Bungie store to buy them, and we're hoping to turn that into $15,000. I know that that's a big ask, but let's see how close we can get that. It's going to a good cause. So we are going to pull one now, right? And so in the next minute or so, and
Mr. Aries
our mod, Aries, is going to pull a name, and he's going to post it. Aries, we are, let's pull two. So two names are going to be pulled right now. We're going to give away two codes. And at the Twitter questions, Briar, when we get to the Twitter questions, we're going to pull a Bungie Love code and what is it called? The Confluence of Light. That's one of those codes that everybody wants that's been given away at
we're at the Twitter questions.
GramesCon. So in a half an hour, the next one then.
Okay.
The next one we'll pull that to them.
All
right. So we're pulling two
while we're
right
waiting for that to happen, why don't we start doing the questions here?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
The Mohegan 9 asks, will using a controller on PC hinder me for PvE or casual PvP?
No, it absolutely will not.
No,
it's
you're
gonna
good.
feel like you're playing Destiny.
Yeah.
Put on more frames.
This is what I've been telling people
Nice
that
quote.
have been asking. They said, do I need to switch to mouse and keyboard? And I said, if your goal is to be exceptionally good at the competitive element of Destiny on PC, then you should start working on mouse and keyboard. If that's your end goal, like being one of the best PvP players on PC, then yes, you need to work on mouse and keyboard. If you just want to have fun, if you want to go through raids, want to, have experience glorious FPS and shoot the breeze with your buddies, and also play some PvP and do some raids and so on and so forth, you can use a controller, you can use a mouse and keyboard. It does not matter. Use whatever is comfortable for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spartan 11 says, why has no one said the controller users should outperform? Why has no one said that controller users should outperform mouse and keyboard users currently? They have 3 years of muscle memory. It's not just the aim assist.
This is actually a conversation I
Very
was
good
having
point.
a lot. A lot of people who are going into the Destiny 2 beta on PC are mostly going to be people who have been playing Destiny on console with controller for 3 years, or at least a significant amount of time. They understand the movement, they understand what the power ammo is, they understand all of these things that a lot of new players coming to Destiny just don't understand. Like, I think I came across maybe 2 Warlocks, Dawnblade Warlocks, that use their in-air dodge the whole time that I played, and I played many, many hours. So you have to also take into consideration that a lot of those people don't understand the movements. They don't understand that they could block with the Sentinel Shield. They don't know that they can throw it. There's so many things that they don't know yet. So I would say that you should probably wait till the game is out and people have had time to play it to really be like, oh, control is so much better and they're outperforming because of this reason, than just being like, it's because of the game assist.
Right now, there's a delay, right? Okay, I'm in this situation and I want to do my super. Which key is my super? Even if you're a mouse and keyboard player, which key is my super?
Mm-hmm.
Which key is my grenade? And there's like a split second. That's not there for controller users who've been playing the game for 3 years straight, right? They already know which key is their super. They already know.
Yeah, it's already there.
It's muscle ingrained memory for the controller user right now. That gap is going away, and it's going to go away quick. So that gap was there for the beta. It's probably going to be very briefly there for the full release of the game, but I would imagine it's going to go away very quick.
There's also a lot of people that played the beta that had never played Destiny before, ever. This was their very first time to experience what Destiny feels like. And Destiny has a lot of things going on. There's a lot of mechanics other than just point and shoot. Like I said about the SMG thing, to a brand new player, you don't realize that an SMG is just not going to shoot that far. Like you don't realize that the hand cannons are gonna, like the explosive rounds from the hand cannons are gonna do area effect damage. Like there's a lot of knowledge that goes into understanding how each super works, and that we all know because we're aware of the game and have seen and have played it on the console as well. And that a brand new player is just not gonna have that knowledge at all. That is a really good mouse and keyboard player. So you got to let those people get the knowledge, and then once they do, it's gonna be a different experience.
Yeah.
The funny thing is at the same time, I watched a couple of VODs of like professional Counter-Strike players and like that trying the game out, and it didn't matter that they didn't know what their super was or their movement abilities or anything like that. It's like the raw skill of them being able to hit nothing but headshots.
But Patrick, the ultra elite are not representative.
I know.
The ultra elite are going to be good no matter what.
I know. I did think that was funny that even without knowledge of the game, just that raw skill was able to, beat out over people that did know what the game was.
Gavin Dent says, I found the mouse wheel too sensitive to switch weapons, but I don't want to use the keyboard. Any suggestions on how to adjust sensitivity?
What you can do actually is bind mouse wheel up to swap to your primary, mouse wheel down to swap to your secondary, and then bind like another key to
press in the mouse wheel.
Yeah, like press in the mouse wheel, but that can cause you to sometimes like roll up on the mouse wheel or roll down, depending on how sensitive it is.
On the mouse.
It depends on the mouse. So you can bind another key on your keyboard, or maybe have a mouse with multiple keys on it. That can work too.
So
was there a way to bind it so that if you tapped a button, it would switch between your kinetic weapon and your energy weapon?
Yeah,
if you held the button,
Yeah, I did. Okay. I have my middle mouse button. I pressed it to go between my primary and secondary. And then I had like the scroll to go to my heavy so that I wasn't accidentally pulling out my heavy every 2 seconds when I had no ammo.
I found, because I'm so used to playing Destiny on a controller, to switch weapons, I would just tap the switch weapon button. I never really considered which one was my primary or secondary. I just want the other one. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, when I had 1, 2, and 3 to select those weapons, I found that I was often hitting the same button of the weapon I already had.
Funny, yeah. On the G502 Logitech, there's a button in the middle where you can switch it from being detented scroll, or you hit the button and then suddenly it's a smooth scroll. So it really depends on the mouse.
Yeah,
I was using the detented, so I could easily just click up once or click down once to switch my weapons. And it was a little uncomfortable trying to get used to the which one was which. I was like, if I scroll up, am I going to my power ammo or am I going to my secondary? And that took me a day to get used to. And then for the most part, I was able to like properly scroll.
That's the other thing is it all these things, they take you a day, they take you 2 days, take you 3 days, and then they're like second nature again.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Vengeance is my name says, do you guys think that we will get clues about Mara Sov's whereabouts in the Destiny 2 campaign, or that she will reappear sometime in the future?
I hope so.
I say the queen lives for sure.
She's too good a character to just like abandon, right?
Yeah.
She's gonna come back when we least expect it, and
It's
her
like the
magic.
Spanish Inquisition.
She's going to come in at our darkest hour, and her magic is going to. We're going to fight alongside her. Maybe Destiny 3, but I definitely think she's going to be a returning character.
Like her and like an army of Awoken as well, like come to join us in some final battle against Gaul, maybe.
Maybe Destiny 3,
Really
we can
cool.
play in-game characters, where we can play as her or something, and we get to use her powers.
One thing
That'd be
that
cool.
I'd love to see in Destiny 2 or Destiny 3 or wherever is, Pope, do you remember that feeling in Halo the first time you fought with like other Marines? Like when you're
Yes.
storming the beach or you're defending.
Yes.
It's like in that first level outside,
Yeah.
like on Halo, you're like defending that tower, right? They never really duplicate that in Destiny. It's one of the coolest things about Halo that didn't really make the transition over to Destiny. I'd love to see us fighting with the citizens of the last city
Right.
or other, like that would be really cool.
And it's been my thought that the way that they positioned those Crucible bots throughout the
Frames.
tower, what do they call them?
Frames.
Frames. I think we're going to get that sort of robot that can be shot up and cannon fodder type thing that isn't as damaging as, say, a human being killed, right?
Mhm.
So I think that's one of the things that they need to keep their rating. If you have a human die, it's bad, right? If you have a guardian disappear, they sparkly and then they reappear, it's not really a death. It's how they market the game, and I don't think we're going to see humans dying. I think we're going to see robots dying, and it would be great to see if they were with us.
The narrative of the story always feels like it's going towards you become legend and everything.
Yeah.
So having like others incorporated into the story like that just seems like it might detract from it in some way.
Oh, we've seen. It looks like we're going to be fighting along. What was his name? Devon Kay, and it looks like Hawthorne.
Yeah.
Like we might be in these like kind of fire teams. We've seen Guardians running along with clearly not Guardians. Like people.
Yeah.
It looks like.
Well, we've seen it in cutscenes, so we don't know if it'll be in the actual game. Like if you'll have to go off on your own and do something.
Mm-hmm.
True enough.
I mean, we hope that we do, because I think that would be a great thing. That if Devon Kay and I just stroll out past the soccer pits and run off together to get into a tussle.
Sounds like you got a man crush, man.
I do. Did you hear
stare
his
into
voice?
his steely blue eyes?
I thought Bife was the sexiest British voice around until that guy.
I'm Devon Kay. We're going to tour the European Dead Zone together. He sounds like a lot like Jorah off Game of Thrones. Different voice actor though.
All right.
Ultron, son of Aurochs, says, "What weapon in Destiny 1 made you salty the most?" Mine was the last word.
Thorn.
It's Thorn.
Thorn. Definitely Thorn.
Yeah. Yeah.
No competition there with just Thorn. The whole
Ooh,
two tap.
Felwinter, the Felwinter's Lie. The shoddy.
Yeah, I think for me, Felwinter's Lie.
Mine
Or
wasn't really
the
specific
the
to
final
weapon.
round sniper. What was that one?
Yeah,
Final round sniper was pretty
Felwinter's. Or no, not Felwinter's. Aphrodite's.
Yeah, Aphrodite's Spear.
Aphrodite's LDR, basically anything above LDR class could one shot.
Let's be honest, it was Aphrodite's because you could.
It was Aphrodite's.
You could farm for an
Whatever it was
Aphrodite's.
with final round, you'd hear people just firing all their sniper shots.
Yeah,
at
and
the
you're like,
beginning of
here?
trials match, and you're like, are those are sniper shots? Are they wasting their ammo? Nope, they are definitely not wasting it.
Yeah, I feel like Aphrodite's. When I got final rounded, it was the most annoying
Feels bad, man.
It did feel really bad.
because you just assumed that they shot you right in the toe.
Yep.
And they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter.
Back then, it didn't tell you if it was like a headshot or not. Remember, they added that in Taken King.
It did it towards the end. No, it was at Luck in the Chamber that they had it for. Because there was at some point there was definitely a time
it
where
was
you
the beginning of
could
Taken
see.
King had Luck in the Chamber snipers.
Yeah, Luck in the Chamber snipers, and you could be like, oh, body shot.
Yep.
Yeah, you could tell that it was body shot.
Yeah,
God, man,
it was.
those memories.
Yeah.
And they're visceral too. I start feeling it.
Yeah, I'm getting angry right now.
Like-
Just thinking about it.
How many times
There you go, teabag somebody.
did we have to did I yell on the podcast about a 2-tap Thorn?
Podcast. I remember you playing with me in fire teams and me going like, I kind of want to just log out right now because God, it's
Yeah, I
you're
used
kind
to
of
get
angry.
really upset. It was such a poor mechanic.
Definitely did, Pope. I remember actually, playing, like, this was back, I think, before I even started streaming. I was playing with you, and you would rage a little bit.
A little bit
About something hand cannon, something blink shotgun, something
blink shotty. Oh my, I forgot. That's like PTSD. Oh my god.
That sounded like Pope just needed to get good. I never had any problems.
I don't need it to get
my god.
You know, I think actually firebolts were probably the most annoying. When 2 firebolts would come in and double hit you, and because there was like the skill on a firebolt is so minimal. It's like you just have to chuck it in the area, and it just targets 3 people. Like I think that actually was the most aggravating for me, was just firebolt nades coming in.
I would say Lucky Raspberry, back when it was like really, really good before they nerfed it, where just chain all of your teammates all at once and it would kill at least half of the team right there.
Yep.
Oh my god, we have gone such a far way.
Yeah. A lot has changed.
Eric Hansen said, with Horizon Zero Dawn, Hellblade, Ikora, Hawthorne, and others, has gaming turned a corner on female lead characters?
I feel like it's definitely kind of picked up in the past couple years. Like, we're starting to see more and more lead female roles.
Mm-hmm.
That aren't like slutty half.
Lara Croft, like original Lara Croft.
I loved her as a child. Thank you.
No,
I thought she's hot and she's a badass. That's like, that's what I want to be.
I just remember going to the magazine rack and then seeing the thing of Lara Croft next to a Playboy. We had there weren't any black covers over the Playboys in my town at the time. I picked up the Lara Croft one though.
Sure. Just for the record, you brought up porn first.
Playboy's not porn. The articles are great.
The articles are great. All right.
I think Patrick would say no to that question. K-Brass says, should Xbox One players who want to complete exotic collections hold primary/special exotic engrams to get Zen Meteorite and Jade Rabbit in the fall?
If you want to complete the thing, complete the collection. Entirely up to you, man.
Personal preference, yeah.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, I mean, that seems like the easiest way to do it.
That's probably the best strategy. So you don't have to play the game longer.
If you don't plan on playing the PC, then you could do that. When PC drops, you can go back in, get those stuff on Xbox One. You know.
Yeah.
Hellcare EXE says, what does everyone fall in Tefty's Church of Unlimited Frames? Where does everyone fall in Tefty's Church of Unlimited Frames?
I think Pope is the Pope of the Unlimited Frames Church.
He is not.
No? But
he is not championing. I have never once heard him talk about the gloriousness of Unlimited Frames until he saw my setup.
Well, I mean, I'm a natural convert, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I am of the school that you need to have your hands, immersed in the water of Unlimited Frames and bask and splash it on your face. That's what it felt like.
You shouldn't open up the CPU liquid cooling system and splash it on your face. Your graphics card needs that, Pope. That is the holy water.
I have a lot to learn, but I'm very passionate. That's the holy water.
Lord Gaben is the Pope of the Church of Unlimited Frames. I'm merely an apostle, spreading the knowledge and the love of the.
I like to think of you as the choir boy.
There you go.
If we're getting biblical gestures right, Jesus converted the first pope. Tefty is Jesus. Pope is a pope. You do have that sort of look going for you.
Tell me I got a Jesus beard?
Maybe.
A little bit.
I think it would have to go down to the belly button to be a Jesus beard. And it's nowhere near the belly button.
You should do that.
So is that goals? Is that goals right there?
Definitely goals, yes.
Maybe talk to memes first.
I have a haircut scheduled tomorrow, guys. Haircut and beard trim.
I should get one of those.
Don't trim it.
Haircuts. I'm supposed to be on a panel at PAX tomorrow.
Yeah, you look clean.
Gator says, with all the bans from the PC beta from using non-compliant software, do you think Bungie will be more specific about these programs?
What bans?
Yeah, I don't know much about this, to be honest with you. I was going to ask you about this in the Twitter chat earlier, and I forgot.
Oh, okay. I don't know anything about this, actually.
I have seen people getting bans. Like, I've seen pictures of it on Twitter. Like, people are receiving bans. But I don't really know what for. And maybe Gator's got a point here. If people are getting banned for doing something that's non-compliant, we should know what those things are.
Yeah, a lot of times in like a beta, there's going to be a bunch of programs that are running that it'll just like misidentify, which is one of the purposes of the beta, to see what programs, we should probably allow that one. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Gator's in chat. He says a lot of people got banned for using software capture.
Software capture.
Yeah.
Really?
So like the NVIDIA, like using Shadowplay, or no, that's hardware. I don't know.
Different software capture seem to be a problem. I don't know anything about it, but yes, they should be specific about it for sure.
Interesting. Okay.
They should be, yeah, because I mean, you don't want to get banned, right? So they should be really specific about like, make sure it doesn't have X, Y, Z to make sure you don't get banned. Otherwise, people are gonna all over the place get accidentally banned.
Yeah, if it's that sensitive.
Yeah, people get misinformation too. Like I would go into other people's chats and see like, oh, you can't use OBS, you can't use XSplit. And it's like, no.
We talked about this a few podcasts back. It was that thing that we brought up that said that the streamers were upset that, you would have to maybe do a 2-stream setup, or you would have to, there was some workarounds. It was that software. Is that what they're talking about?
It's various types of softwares.
And it only really affected a small percentage of streamers.
And still, like, people are clearly, getting banned for stuff that they shouldn't get banned for.
Well, they're getting banned for stuff maybe they should be getting banned for, but are not aware of it. So that's a difference. That's a different message.
Yeah. Clarity is always a good thing on this kind of stuff. Darth Radana says, where do you think all the other factions are at? We've only seen Dead Orbit stuff in pictures. Where's my New Monarchy at? New Monarchy has been disbanded.
There was some New Monarchy in Future War called like weapons here and there, but it was mostly Dead Orbit armor. Like Dead Orbit was definitely seemed to be the forefront of like. Yeah.
I could have sworn I saw a Ghost too. That was like a New Monarchy themed one. It was red and white.
All right, whip around your faction, your first one. If you can claim a faction, first one that you're going to claim because no reason, just say.
My Warlock has always been Dead Orbit.
New Monarchy.
Yeah, Dead Orbit's been
New Monarchy, Dead Orbit.
For my Warlock, it's always.
I don't even remember the third one's name.
Future War
Cult. Lakshmi.
Yeah, sure, that one. I don't care.
That was the place you went for good weapons.
Literally no investment in them at all.
Ryan, what if you do care now? What if it matters?
Right, that'd be awesome.
Faction Wars, finally. I know people have been really wanting something like that.
I'd love that.
Actually fight for your faction, get like a weekly reward for whichever faction competes the highest for something maybe.
Hell yeah.
Similar.
For whatever reason,
awesome.
my Warlock is always Dead Orbit because Warlocks are dead to me. My Titan is New Monarchy, and my Hunter is always Future War Cult. It's always been that way.
I had a similar setup. I think it was different characters, but they were only set in the way they were, so I could level each faction up, so I could buy the guns when I wanted them. When whoever had a good gun, I always wanted to make sure I had access to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anybody really had a vested interest in it, but I'm hoping that we get them.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Rectum says, anybody with a one PC stream setup run into CPU usage issues?
Oh, yeah.
Kept hitting greater than 90% with OBS open.
Yeah.
I did.
I was running into the issue, but I have like a what processor do you have?
The i7 6700.
Okay, we have the same processor. I think XSplit for me uses up a little bit more processor power.
Maybe. I was also using my graphics card to stream with, so
that I ended up I streamed with my processor doing all the stuff day one, or like day 1 and 2, and then day 3 I swapped it over to graphics card for rendering the stream, and I dropped down to like 80%. So if you are streaming on a one PC setup,
80% just running the game,
80% running the game and streaming it off one PC.
Okay.
For me, I
you're
was actually hitting
rendering-
like 100% for me, but that's just because my PC setup is currently not the best. I do need to upgrade processor and motherboard, so the game itself was just on its own was 60% of my CPU. But adding OBS to that and other programs, I had to turn my own like in-game like everything to like 720. So I was playing the game while streaming in 720, but that's why I was playing a lot offline as well, so I could actually see the amazing graphics in 1080. So I need to upgrade my PC.
I don't know how you guys figure these numbers out. I just go by sound. So when my computer's going, woo,
when it starts yelling at you, you're like,
right? I know I'm using it really hard. And if it's like
when it hits a C sharp,
yeah. So I just listen to the tone, and then I'm like, oh, I got to close some applications.
If this is something you want to do and you're looking to either upgrade a computer or build a computer, definitely look at Ryzen and their 8-core processors, because that's going to be much more valuable to you being able to run a game and stream it at the same time than something that Intel is providing with 4 cores. Twerk for Eris Morn says
That's great.
the beta has convinced me to main Destiny 2 on PC. Will it be possible to transfer my Destiny 1 character veteran rewards to the PC version?
Nope.
I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
They've
It
already
has been confirmed by Luke Smith.
In that interview. Yeah.
Yeah. Your veteran rewards are for your platform that you got them on.
Yep.
Correct. Nick says, what do you think and hope Bungie is going to do to keep players coming back between DLCs?
Well, did we get a DLC release date?
He said December.
Yes.
Are we?
So I was wondering.
We don't know exact date, but we know it's December.
I saw that posted somewhere. Is that an official thing?
It's official. I can't remember where I saw it, but I remember seeing it and being like, oh, that's the official release day now.
Guys,
I remember reading that on a Kotaku article.
Yeah, there it is. Are we going to talk about that? Is that considered spoiler? And should we talk about it?
I didn't read it.
Probably.
It is all on it's a Kotaku article. It's all sources within Destiny.
It's Jason Schreier who has been 10 out of 10
I know.
Yeah.
every
He has.
time. Should we talk
Okay.
about it, guys?
I think
How
it's,
about this?
I think
How
it's too
I think
spoiler.
it's fine.
It's
Yeah,
too
really?
spoilery. If you want to seek the information for yourself, you know where to find it. Kotaku, look up any of Jason Schreier's articles. Should be right at the top. It goes over the
fascinating.
next
First
DLC.
What's in it?
They're the first DLC and basically a lot of stuff that's going to be in it. So if that interests you,
Go there.
go for it.
Let's see here. Sevi says, what hobby besides gaming have you spent the most time on?
Cycling.
I think martial arts or gymnastics. It was one or
They're
the
really
other.
the same thing. Same thing. really.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
Watts
One's
can
with
kick an ass.
fighting, one's more dancing side, whatever. So.
Watts will beat you up in the street.
That's
Yeah,
why
I
you
should
like
say-
being a hunter.
Say same with martial arts, actually. Either martial arts or actually art. So either
You
one
like
of
to draw?
those.
You like to pen?
It's been a
Paint?
while since I have.
Photo? What's your medium?
I usually do sketch art, charcoal stuff. I have painted in the past because I remember back in high school, my art teacher would always make me paint, even though I never wanted to. But so just random stuff here and there.
Yeah. Cool.
Uh,
Magic. We already know that one. Tefty.
motherfucker, it's photography.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Because does that mean that magic doesn't qualify as a hobby? It's like a way of life. Is that your
A
rationale?
lifestyle
At
choice.
that point, yeah. At that point, yeah. It's at some point a hobby. At some point, a hobby transitions into a lifestyle choice, and I think I put that much time into magic.
That's hilarious. I will say music for me became a lifestyle because I made it a career also. So in terms of a hobby, I have in the past been really big into photography as well.
Cooking.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah, too bad you didn't win that.
Before
cooking
Destiny really
throwdown.
kind of took over my life, it was motorcycling. Before that, it was golf. I don't know. I don't remember before that.
Golf and motorcycling.
The
Photographing
best
magic
was when I took
cards.
the
Photographing
magic
magic cards. Oh my god. Getting the perfect lighting, shutter speed.
Perfect lighting to show the foil.
Yeah.
The challenge is
Perfect.
really when you get the collector's pack, they have like glittery parts on them.
They're called foil cards.
Oh,
Foils.
I'm gonna go with glitter from now on.
Oh, you got any of them special
when
glitter
you get that
magic
glitter
cards?
pack,
A
Hey,
glittery
Patrick,
card. Would
break out
actually
your
be-
glittery cards and show
A
this guy
glittery
who's
card
boss.
would be abrasive to other cards. They have to make it foil on its own layer. If it has other stubble on it, it would cause inconsistencies if it is placed into a deck. So you have to keep consistency with the normal ones. Glitter,
nope, it's
much.
glitter.
It's
Sorry,
glitter.
Matt. Carl the second says, "What is your absolute worst memory of Destiny 1?"
Pope Bear always never allowing me to talk about Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
What's my worst? I don't know, man. God, there's so many. There's so many worst. I don't know. I think there was. It's usually community related. To be honest with you, there was a time where the in Destiny 1 where things were really toxic and people were going after each other within the community, and I feel like I can't put it on a specific point, but it felt like we the community wasn't gelling, and I think that times were bad and the game was bad and everybody was trying to help the game get better, and
When
each
was
one
this?
won.
Was this like
This is like
This is
Destiny
the first
Vanilla.
or the second time?
This
or
is
the
like
third
the really first one when
Okay.
there was still that desire for the
That-
game to get better, and
The House of Wolves one.
House of Wolves, right around then. I feel like I reflect, my happiness reflects a lot on like the general community.
I remember
Think of,
every
like,
single
a first
podcast that we
moment,
did.
though.
I remember every single podcast that we did during the House of Wolves era was us bitching about Thorn, final round snipers, and then just
we put a
various
moratorium on it.
Yeah, we,
At one point,
we were
It's
like,
just like, okay, we're not
nope.
going to talk about Thorn anymore. We're just
Yeah.
not going to do it.
say Thorn. Yeah.
Sounded like porn. Yeah, it did.
I heard porn. I heard porn.
No,
not
we're
gonna
definitely going
talk
to talk
about
about
porn.
porn some more.
Just had
Yeah.
to put a
Porn, less
moratorium
porn.
on porn.
No.
Pornatorium.
Especially when
Pornatorium.
the Pornbxx was a great. Never mind.
I gotta say, for me, I think it's when I realized that I didn't like playing Destiny 1 PvP anymore, and that was sad because in the past when it was fun, I really enjoyed it. But then that I can't remember what era it was. I think it was like the summer before Rise of Iron. It just hit me where I was like, I don't enjoy Destiny 1's PvP anymore. Done with it. And I'm a Destiny streamer. RIP. So that was probably my saddest moment.
You guys?
I think for me, the meta started getting smaller and smaller and smaller in terms of what was viable. And skill-based matchmaking seemed to also be getting harsher and harsher and harsher. So I used to have a series that was Less Loved. It was called Less Loved, where I used exotics that weren't very good and just tried to show the positive light, what they're good at. And I remember doing that series and I was sitting down and I was like, okay, we're going to do this gun. And I went to the Crucible and I was like, I can't do this because it's people just using the same weapons. Skill-based matchmaking makes to where I'm only playing against the sweatiest of the sweaty. And it just made it so unenjoyable that I didn't want to make any content that was making me so miserable to do. And that was my favorite thing to make on YouTube as well. So that was a really sad time for me because I was like, this is a series I really like. This is content I really like making, but the actual gameplay is making it miserable to do. So I'm hoping to bring that back in Destiny 2 because it's something that I love, and losing that was just like, that was rough. That was rough.
I think for me, it was the post-DRE hangover. We got home from DRE, the Destiny reveal event. We'd played Destiny 2. I sat down, I looked at my console, and Destiny 1, I was like, I don't want to play this. I want to play Destiny 2 or something else. Like, I just don't want to play any more Destiny. I I booted up Destiny 1 for the first time since Guardian Con today.
That's gotta be rough.
Wow. That's a long time.
It is a long time.
I think a final time I'm booting it up would be tonight for the Zer video. So
I'd have to say it'd probably be for me like going from transition from being a PvE only player like when I was playing only PvE, I was pretty much playing it solo a lot of the time. Like, I mean, I guess I did have friends where I would run raids with, but a lot of them, they had jobs like during the day, so I would always like, you know, be running it solo throughout the day. And I'd say once it started to feel very repetitive, like the big gap from when TTK was released till the next DLC, you know, like there really wasn't, it didn't feel like there was a whole lot PvE wise being released. And I guess that for me did feel a little sad because I did really love to run PvE with friends. And, you know, at the time I was starting out streaming, and then suddenly I guess, yeah, there was still trials. So I guess I decided to pick that up, and I actually started to enjoy Crucible a little bit more. But for me, I was a little sad when PvE just kind of lost a little bit of it for me. And it felt very repetitive with the whole, you know, you walk up to this door in this mission or in this strike, you put your ghost and you defend it for like however many waves. You already know how many enemies are coming out. You already know what captains, what wizards, this and that, you know. It felt very, very repetitive. And yeah, around there.
Yeah. I hear that. Well, it's 8:00. That means it's time
for another giveaway.
So in the background, in the chat, we're giving away, for those people that just arrived, 2 codes. We're giving them away every half hour, and we have one Bungie Love code and one Confluence of, what is it called? Confluence of Light. Confluence of Light. Anyway, there are 2 Destiny 2 in-game codes, and to get a chance to win, quickly click on the donation link. We're going to be running every half an hour. The proceeds, all of these, not the proceeds, all of the money is going to the Bungie charity, a Bungie charity for the, God, my brain, it just froze on me. Wow, this is weird. Okay, so we're doing yeah, I know. We're doing a charity live stream for those that are suffering from the Hurricane Harvey. So we are going to be donating all the money to them. Our goal is to hit 15,000 tonight, and if we can, that'd be great. So $5 gets you 1 entry, $10 gets you 2, 15 3, and good luck. So Aries, why don't you go ahead and pull that name?
While we wait, Xylus PC Beta showed us Destiny 2 is amazing with frames, but I'm really worried about a PC Master Race divide. We're a tight and loving community. Thoughts?
We can still be a tight and loving community.
Right. Doesn't matter what you're playing on. We're playing the same game.
Yeah, we set the precedent for what the community is, right? So people coming into the community, they're going to see, oh, guess what? Being an asshole doesn't really fly around here. Okay, that's good to know. And then the positive people will rise to the top, or they change the way that they
operate.
There,
Watts. Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I also notice PvE type of content tends to glue communities together a lot more than PvP content tends to shard it and split it up over how we feel. Like, as you can see this week with the whole Amos's thing. And again, Destiny's a PvE first type of game. So if you look at like Borderlands 2 type of communities, they had all the platforms. There was a little bit of elitism. Okay, well, maybe some people will say there's a lot of elitism, but there's still the fact that the community came together and really enjoyed it as a whole. And everybody, regardless of the platform you're playing on, is excited to get loot. So
sick loot.
Tons of it.
And what I'm hoping is that we get seriously past this like console PC shaming bullcrap.
Yeah.
And let's just keep promoting that. Keep promoting that we are all gamers and we all love the game Destiny, and it doesn't matter one bit what, how many frames you have and what content you have. We're all playing the same. We all love the same game, and we welcome. Give each other a big hug.
Go on.
It's kind of like with Xbox and versus PlayStation or whatever. People saying whatever console was better, but I mean, really, we're all playing the exact same game, and there's really no difference at all between the two. So I mean,
Give me an H in the chat for a hug. A hug for the community. Let's do hugs. Everybody do hugs. We want to hug it out. But seriously, though,
Destroy says, what do you think of how hand cannons handled in Destiny 2 compared to Destiny 1?
I mean, the PC was very different from the consoles.
that's
Sure
for
was.
sure.
I feel like PC is going to get a range nerf in the damage fall off. Like they're going to make that not. Hand cannons in Destiny 2 on PC felt like hand cannons in vanilla Destiny 1, where you could just cross map people. Because I was consistently tapping people from, what should be scout rifle ranges, just because I can put my crosshair on their head.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if it's
Which
gonna
felt
change.
actually really good on the mouse, I felt, because you could really, it really did feel like year one, where you could really be hitting people from across the map. And with a mouse, you had that precision to do it,
You
too.
did,
to hit,
yeah.
hit that headshot.
It was very weird seeing that much precision just going from an analog stick to a mouse, and it was like,
Yeah.
am I actually hitting all of these shots? I was like, huh.
It was
Snipers.
beautiful.
snipers.
Snipers, yeah.
I want a better
Different.
sniper.
You want a better sniper.
I can't wait.
I
to
will
actually have a
say-
Definitely
sniper
like
that-
to see a better sniper.
Yeah, I want a sniper that's
Uh,
amazing.
the grenade launcher was something that was like, you would just laugh at it on the console. It's
Yeah.
like, it's not going to do anything to me. And then on PC, I was like, it's not going to do anything. I got killed so many times by the grenade launcher.
Same.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
Mhm.
They buffed it, right?
They
They
might
had
have
to.
buffed it, but
They had
like,
to.
Yeah.
And
I
it
just-
might
it's
just
all-
be the PC precision.
it's also
Right,
just the
yeah.
precision of them being able to launch a thing straight and hit you.
Because you have to hit directly to actually kill someone with it. So on PC, you can be more precise. So it makes sense if they're being more precise with it, that they're killing more with it.
hmm
Also, did they give rocket launchers a buff by any chance?
I could have sworn you can hold two. Like you can hold two rockets
Yeah, I
now.
felt like you could get one in the
Yeah, you could only
console beta,
get
two in
one,
the-
and then, but
Yeah.
you still have to reload, right? The reload was super slow.
Now, if you're a hunter and you can do the rocket roll, fire
Don't tell me
rocket
about the
roll
rocket
to
roll.
reload, fire another one.
Yeah,
It's the new
alright.
meta, man.
They need to nerf the hunter dodge,
Yes.
clearly.
Clearly.
It's OP.
Well, the best part about the from console to PC beta is that we stayed with the tradition of any time there's a patch, we nerf fusion rifles. I am so stoked about that.
Same.
It feels like that is a tradition that we can't get rid of. Hunters and those, but the fusion rifle we have to stay with.
Did you use the fusion rifle much, Pope?
It did.
Okay. Did it actually feel different? Because one of my theories
Yes.
was that I
It did.
thought it would have changed because like no aim assist when using a mouse and keyboard, and aim assist would greatly help the fusion rifle bolt stand. But
No, so what I found is that the range was brought in. Maybe I'm wrong, but to me it felt like I wasn't cross mapping. The VOOP was real in the console beta. You could
Oh, yeah.
cross map.
It was pretty real here, too.
Yeah, but the range was pulled in a little bit, and I found myself knocking off shields and part of the health more. I feel like they added maybe a bolt to kill than before.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong, but it just felt like that there was some changes.
Dick Hurt says, on the eve of Destiny 2 release, what will you guys be doing?
Not sleeping.
On the eve of the release?
Like Christmas Eve,
Yes,
but for
us.
Destiny.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to be trying to sleep as much as possible so I can stay awake forever.
Sleep for
Which
3
probably
days,
won't
stay up for
work.
2 weeks. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm messing
Yeah.
up my sleep schedule so I can wake up at like 7 p.m. and just go ahead and like start streaming.
It's a good strategy.
What I like is in the West Coast, we get to start it at 9:00.
Yep.
It's a good time.
It's a
It's a good time for West Coast people.
It's a nice. It's
I like it.
It's not too late.
It's the only time
So-
we're gonna get like that good time too.
So it's good news, man. We actually got the release date of Destiny brought back 2 days to September 6th, and then one more day. It's like Christmas. September
Christmas.
5th at 9:00, we'll get in.
I'll be honest. When they said September 5th, I was like, what do you mean?
I know.
What do you mean?
There was got to be a catch, right? But we literally get in at 9 o'clock, September 5th. That's
on the
freaking
West
awesome.
Coast.
On the West
On the
Coast.
West Coast.
East Coast
Midnight.
people get it at midnight.
East Coast.
Am I supposed
What
to
if
think
you
about
can get
anybody
the
else?
physical copy? Then you're getting it 19 hours before that.
But then you're playing. Oh, but you're doing PvE, so you're not really
Yeah, you don't
playing
really
with
care.
people in New Zealand.
I mean, I'm not going to be playing with anybody in the beginning. I want to experience the story by myself.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
So I'm gonna have to go buy a physical copy as well as my digital copy.
If you can go get one early,
I can, and I will.
can you get me one early?
Yeah, what's this? Can you get
Sure.
the hookup? Pope?
What is this? What is
what
this?
are you
Yeah,
talking about?
I'll take one too, actually.
Yeah.
I mean,
can we, what?
As
As our
would like-
community manager, and
I would like
producer,
one
work at
Destiny 2,
GameStop,
please, as
just
well.
so you know. There are students at my school who work at GameStop.
at desktop.
Desktop.
Oh.
Desktop.
GameStop.
So do I need to go to GameStop and convince someone to be nice to me?
Just to be like, look, do you know who I am? Kind of a big deal.
I'm just going to be furiously tweeting, does anyone work at GameStop or Best Buy or anyone that can sneak
Hit me up
a
in
little
the
game?
DMs if you are,
It usually feels like the early copies come like from like the big box stores like Walmart or something
Yeah.
where
Oh,
you
you're
get an
right.
employee who doesn't
Can I just-
necessarily know what
Yeah.
the street
Should
date
I
is.
just rob Walmart? What if
Yes,
I leave
definitely
the
not.
money on the table?
No, I
but
feel like
take
this is
the
a good
game
course of
early?
action.
I'd
Yeah.
say
It's not
committing a
technically stealing
felony would
then,
be
so
bad.
I want
But I'm
you
still
on our
paying
rating.
for
Is
it.
a
I'm just
felony?
taking it
Only
when I want.
$60.
You can't say I stole it. I gave you money. Gave-
It's not
I gave
wrong.
money.
It's not stealing. You paid full
It's
price
not
for it.
Yeah. I'll give a little tip too. Please don't arrest me tip.
I'm going to turn on this fan. I don't care. It's super hot.
All right. Let's
Nick,
do
I'm sorry.
5 more questions. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Sure.
All right.
sure.
Sergeant Lipscomb says, my son promised to make honor roll in exchange for buying him Destiny 2. My original plan was to buy this week. Do I make him earn it or buy it now?
Okay. Here's what I would do. I'd buy it, and then like the night before he's supposed to go to get the huge amount of studying done, cram session for the final tests to for whatever the end of semester things for honor roll. You show him Destiny 2, and you give him that you make him have that crisis of faith of I could play this now, but my grades, and then teach him a life lesson.
Wow.
That's deep.
Give it to him now. He's a good kid. He'll make honor roll, no problem. Give it to him now. You know?
My parents gave me let me buy World of Warcraft during the time when I should have been trying to get on honor roll. Look how I turned out.
Turned out great.
I want to change my answer.
I think you leverage the crap out of that. As a parent, you get all you can out of that.
Yeah.
He has to get raid ready though.
There's
So,
there's car washes, there's house cleaning, there's
Garbage, laundry,
lawnmower.
vacuum, lawnmower.
You can get at least a solid week of hard labor out of that kid before, we're
There's-
talking about near abuse levels of work. I mean, sweep
I was
the chimney,
I was only conceived because my parents didn't have a TV remote, and they didn't want to get one. So,
Steven Thompson says, why are the Twitter questions going more smoothly with Breyer tonight than they did with Holtz last week?
I feel like you planted that one.
What? How dare you?
It's okay. Last week I asked him Magic the Gathering, specifically Magic the Gathering.
Oh, I heard.
Just magic last week then.
I'm gonna say Patrick definitely did a better job of Twitter questions than I did when I had to do them, but he did stack them to a point where it was Patrick's interest levels instead of making a team.
Look,
It's like, so what do you guys think about Magic? Oh, well, I think Magic.
Well, funny you should ask.
Patrick, can you
Patrick's-
show that thing on your wall with all the card display? I'm really curious exactly what
Why?
it
Yes,
is.
I can do that. It's crazy that you asked me that.
Patrick furiously creates 3 fake Twitter accounts so that he can post Magic questions.
It's more like 5, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I picked some pretty good ones. I wanted to have good conversation questions, and I'm sorry, but sometimes like, if you could make an exotic, what would it be? Question.
We get that question literally like 3 to 5 times a week, and I never pick it because think about how long it would take to answer that question. Think about that for a second. A long time. Like everybody on the spot has to think of an exotic and then answer the question. Like we're talking like a 30-minute answer. Easy.
Yeah, I've been asked that question while I was live, and I'm just sitting here like thinking like, do I want like some new ability to go with it, to buff something, to take something away? What would it look like? What class slot would it be? With class specific, all this stuff. It would probably take a good 6 hours for each of us, maybe.
Right. That's not a just pop it on somebody kind of question.
That's a tip for people asking questions, guys. If you ask a question that kind of would require like a 30-minute answer, chances are 99.99999 it's not going to get picked because it just would take forever.
Yeah. XX420 No Scopes XX says, do you know, as of this past Tuesday, Watson Patrick did not know which day Destiny 2 is released?
Okay, now you're stacking the questions to favor you.
XX420 No Scopes XX is a legit asker of questions. Answer the question.
I was merely confused. I thought it was on the 6th and it's on the 5th. Okay.
It gets very confusing. It does.
It's not
like
time
first it
release,
was like
4
they put it
dates.
back.
It's
some
time
days,
change.
and
It's
then-
First it was on
and then
confusing
they're
at
like, you
all.
can play on the 5th, and I'm like, what do you mean? And then we find out, oh, that's okay. You mean 9 p.m. Okay, well now that makes
This
more
is
sense.
not confusing at all. This is always how it is. Midnight releases on the East Coast equals 9 p.m. West Coast. I'm used to this. Every single time a new game comes out, I see it unlock.
I'm happy you've adjusted to it, Tefty, but for some of us, we're just like, I don't care. Reddit will let me know. And so I'm not going to...
Reddit's not going to preload the game for you.
Look, this brain right here is completely clogged full of useless Magic the Gathering information, okay? I can basically recite you every single card from the World Wake expansion, and that is completely useless. I can't remember when the game's going to launch. It's just not going to fit in there.
All right, based on that answer alone, you get a pass.
That's why you like put like a star on the page, just favorite it, make sure that's there for reference all the time.
Tex asks, do you all have a puppy you're fighting for?
I have 2.
2 puppies?
I'm fighting for all the puppies.
Yeah,
All the puppies.
Just say
All the
puppies.
All the
Yeah.
puppies.
Saving all the puppies.
Every single story on the dodo, I don't know if you guys follow the dodo, that's just heartbreaking, and you want to fight for those puppies, all of them.
I have 2 dogs, and the answer is no. Tavish Gregory says, chicken or fish at a wedding, and should there be an open bar?
Chicken, yes.
Yeah, I would say chicken. Yes.
Chicken.
And yes on the open bar.
If you invite
yeah.
me to your wedding and there's not an open bar, I'm going to be kind of pissed off.
Disgruntled.
At the very least, 5 drink tickets. At the very least, because I got to hit the booze and support the wall here.
Right? Come on.
Yeah.
Open bar. Tavish, nope, sorry. Most interesting Korean says, is it okay for a man to shave his armpits?
Yeah,
Yes.
like if you're super hairy, especially trimming, I think everyone can be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Shaving's different from trimming.
It is different. It is true.
If you're a professional swimmer, no problem.
Yeah.
If you're not a professional swimmer and I see you shave your armpits, I'm going to be like, why? Why are you doing that?
Maybe like you got to keep shaving it so it doesn't get itchy.
It's going to get itchy if you shave.
Dude,
Yeah, I was
it's
gonna say,
you
it's
shave.
gonna get
No,
itchy.
you're good
Lord.
for like 2 days. You're good for like 2 days.
Dude, hair is like a lubricant in there. That's a often moved part.
Yeah, when it's freshly cut, oh my God, I'm like,
Oh, it'd be like sandpaper.
yeah. Jesus.
Yeah.
Makes you more aerodynamic. So I don't see why you wouldn't.
It
You're
makes
gonna
you
win.
do
You're
the-
gonna lose a fist fight due to your
Hair.
underarm hair.
It makes you do the anime ninja run. Aerodynamic for it.
Yep.
right, last question. Josh Rogers says, do you guys find it weird that there are fan fiction romance stories involving all of you?
I don't know that's
Patrick
a thing.
and Pope and Tefty and Pope. And basically everybody in Pope, it turns out.
Everybody's getting a hand on Pope.
I didn't know this was a thing.
I missed this. What I was talking to Aries. What's going on?
Do you guys find it weird that there are fan fiction romance stories involving all of you?
Oh,
It's the internet. No, it
I don't know.
Internet.
It doesn't surprise me. Does it weird me out? A little bit.
Yeah.
There's some pretty strange fetishes out there, you know.
You have no idea, Pope.
Doesn't surprise me at all. I'm the one writing them.
So,
what's your pen name, Briar? What's your pen name?
As we go into
XX420 no scopes XX.
Yes. As we go into this final drawing, a couple things. Every donation from 8 o'clock to 8:30 is worth double right now. Double XP. We're giving away 4 codes at this drawing. So if you donated earlier, you have 4 times the chances plus 2 double codes. So if you donate $10, you'll get 4 chances. And we're drawing 4 codes.
I also need to specify something as well. There's been a few people that have donated to my personal Streamlabs account. That is the incorrect one. I will be refunding those donations. You need to donate to streamlabs.com/PopeBear for those to count. That is where the drawing is coming from. So sorry for the confusion on that, guys. Like I said, I am reversing those donations. There's been 4 that have come through. So I just want to clarify.
So if you donated to Tefty and drop it into the Pope Bear donations link, and this last 8 minutes, the donations are worth double, and you get 4 chances to win.
There you go.
All right, Briar, where are we at?
That was it. That was the last question.
All right. Well, I'd like to. I'm going to check out to see what our totals are. We still got some time, so hang in there, everybody. Then we'll pull the codes and burn.
Should
Go ahead.
Should we do our sign-offs right now, or we're done with questions, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you all for tuning in today to the 48th episode of this community podcast. We have, next episode, guys, we're playing Destiny.
Too. Like this is the last episode before Destiny 2 comes out.
Crazy.
Yeah,
we made it.
We made it.
The final
We
Destiny
survived.
1. This was the final Destiny 1
final-
DCP.
Oh my
podcast.
God.
Destiny 1.
Wow.
Yes.
Don't get copyrighted.
Do we have to rename the podcast to Destiny 2 Community Podcast?
D2CP?
Do we really want to give
D2CP?
Ash?
D2CP.
Do we really
I do
wanna
like D2CP.
D2.
I don't want to put that much more workload on Ash. No, and then we have to rebrand all of our Twitter and it's not happening.
Yeah.
But it could look like R2D2.
You convinced me. You convinced me. Ash, sorry for the workload, but
Sorry, Ash.
all right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you want to find more of me, I am at Holtzmann_YT on Twitter, and you can find me Ninja Running because it's easier to animate that way.
I'm Briar Rabbit. You can find me streaming every day at 1 p.m. Eastern over on Twitch. You can find my YouTube channel. Just look up Briar Rabbit on YouTube or look me up on Twitter at the Briar Rabbit.
I am Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter. You can catch my streams, twitch.tv/Tefty Teft. Typically start around 6 p.m. Pacific. I will be honest, though, this next week is going to be up in the air in terms of when streams start, just because it's going to be chaotic with going as hard as possible and doing that grind. So it's going to be very exciting. But typically when things are calm, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Also got a YouTube channel. It's going to be getting love with some Destiny 2 content as well.
And I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube at Miss 5000 Watts. And same as Tefty. There will be no schedule. Am I sleeping? I'm streaming. Am I streaming? I'm probably not sleeping. So there you go. If I'm not sleeping, I'm going to be streaming. Same with the YouTube stuff. So it's gonna be a good time.
Burn.
I am Burnbxx, and you can find me at Twitter and on Twitch at Burnbxx. So I usually stream it's for this next week. It's going to be again up in the air because of, again, the whole Destiny 2 being released. So Gonna be
And
all
if
over
you-
the place.
If you can, definitely catch her streams. They're a lot of fun. She has a great chat and great environment, great community. Go in there and give her some love. This has been Pope Bear. You can find me on Twitter at Pope Bear. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at DestinyCompod for all the stuff that's going on with D2CP.
D2CP.
DP30.
D2CP.
It's a thing.
Anyway, and so hang out and make sure that you put on those notifications because we don't spam the account, and we'd love to have you in there doing with it. Wow, I'm tongue tied tonight. That is horrible.
Will there be an episode next week on time? Yes.
There is
Wait,
no
you
guess.
want me to
There
do
were
a
so many
podcast when there's
excuses right
Destiny
there.
2 to be playing? We better
We're
be doing an
probably-
in-game podcast.
We're probably going to be playing and grinding. Like,
Let's do an
for-
in-game podcast on the at the
In-game
farm.
podcast next week?
In-game podcast.
Is that even possible?
Yes, it is possible, and it was going to be a surprise, but we got this. We got some
Okay.
other fun stuff planned.
Pope has something up his sleeve, guys. Wow.
I've got something up my sleeve, and you're gonna
armpit
have
hair?
to tune in. You're gonna have to tune in.
You
to
got to
find
shave
out,
that
but
up your sleeve?
Definitely tune in.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in this week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We made it.
Bye.
We made it.
We are